To rock a bit behind the fast feet of David Winbush, but the Wrecking Crew defense may have other ideas. Inspired by the Aggie core and under the watchful eyes of Reveille the Sixth herself, preseason All-American Dat Nguyen needs just 50 tackles to become the Aggies' all-time leader. But the Vietnamese American has accomplished something greater. He's captured the admiration and respect of his teammates, peers, and community. Dat Nguyen on the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week next. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler present Big 12 football today from Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, Kansas. The Jayhawks play host to the Texas Aggies. And good afternoon, everybody. Along with Dave Lapham, I'm Drew Goodman. The Aggies come in 3-1, ranked number 18 in the country. Their lone blemish, a loss to Florida State. Obviously, no shame in that. Yet R.C. Slocum has decided to make a change at quarterback.
He sure has, Drew. Brandon Stewart is out. Randy McCowan gets his second career start. Last week, he went 11 for 13 for 167 yards and 2 touchdowns. How? Pass rush awareness, a little slide step over the top. He has good presence in the pocket. Also, when the play broke down, nowhere to throw the football, he tucked it and ran for over 40 yards. So he accounted for over 200 yards total offense, and his emotion, his enthusiasm off the bench really sparked this A&M offensive football team.
And they need a bit of a spark offensively. They've struggled at times this year. Kansas last week basically played a doubleheader in Birmingham, Alabama. They went 4 overtimes before knocking off UAB, and the hero was a redshirt freshman receiver.
Harrison Hill, Drew, 8 catches for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is the go-to guy. Center fielder on the baseball team, so he's got tremendous hand. Look at the concentration beating double coverage right there. This is the second phase of what he provides this football team. Punt returns, they lead the nation in punt returns. Here Harrison Hill takes it all the way across the field, lets his wall set up. They execute the blocks for him. He shows the foot speed down the sideline, goes 81 yards, takes it to the house, and special teams, in particular the punt return game this afternoon, could be huge. Harrison Hill could be a major factor.
Yeah, it could be large if Kansas is to pull the upset over the Aggies. Texas A&M wants to get number 34 loose today, Dante Hall. And, of course, Kansas will try to slow him down. Namely, strong safety Michael Allen will be involved. Come on back to Lawrence, Kansas with us.
Building on the beautiful campus of Kansas University. Back inside Kansas Memorial Stadium, just about set for kickoff between Kansas and Texas A&M. And hello everyone, I'm Jim Knox. Happy to have you along with us for our Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week. And if Texas A&M needs a big play today on offense, look for the Aggies to go to Chris Cole. Chris Cole, the wide receiver, is slowly but surely becoming one of the top wide receivers in the nation. R.C. Slocum says he's barely scratching the surface. Well, last week against North Texas, he really scratched the surface. 6 receptions for 174 yards and 3 touchdowns. Earlier today, I talked to Chris Cole, and he told me he's looking to get off to another fast start and have another big performance. We will see. Up next, it's the Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week. Texas A&M against Kansas, and the kickoff is coming up.
To the second half, Kansas will get the football. Shane Leckler will kick it off. He is one of the best punters in the nation. Mitch Bowles, 20, and Henri Childs, number 28. Childs has been in the end zone this year on a punt return. And we're underway in Lawrence. That'll skip through the end zone, a touchback, and KU will get it at the 20-yard line. Zach Wegner makes his 11th career start today. He's trimmed down. He was about 230 last year, and at 220 pounds, he is playing very good football. And up front, they have an improving offensive line. Justin Glasgow is enormous. He goes 6'6" and 320. Michael Lee is a very fine athlete, the right tackle. David Winbush, he plays hard, and he can really make you miss. They want to get the ball in his hands today. Here we go, 1st and 10 at the 20. And they empty the backfield. Wegner all kinds of time, throws it in coverage, picked off by Dat Nguyen. The All-American inside the 10-yard line. Oh. You talk about a big play early by a big playmaker. Look at number 9.
things I think happened on that football play. Wegner held the ball too long, and then he threw into double and triple coverage. That win really jumped on the underneath route. Good protection, empty backfield, as you mentioned, Drew, when Winbush motioned out of there, throws into 3 defenders, though. Absolutely no reason to throw that football, forced it, and that win made him pay.
Randy McCown, 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line, actually the 10-yard line. Let me check that. And they give to the fullback, Jamar Toombs, who gets a couple before running into J.J. Johnson. The quarterback this week, at least to start, is Randy McCown. He's a junior from Jacksonville, Texas. He had an outstanding game last week, 11 of 13 off the bench, and he also ran the football for 39 yards. Second and goal at the 8. Toss sweep, Dante Hall. Cutting back, looking to the end zone, touchdown.
Well, you couldn't have a worse start to this football game if you're Kansas. Turn the football over and give Texas A&M a short football field to work with. Exceptionally short football field. Less than 15 yards they had to negotiate to pay dirt. Texas A&M right now +9 in the turnover ratio. That's amongst the top 4 in the country. And Dat Win is the guy that made the big play to start this football game defensively for the Aggies, as he's done so many times.
Russell Bynum to attempt the extra point. And the game is 52 seconds old. And 18th ranked Texas A&M has a 7-0 lead in Lawrence behind Dat Win's great play. Around the football, Dat Win, a 4-year starter, the leading tackler for the last 3 years. His 5th career interception set up the short scoring drive, brought to you by Buick for the Aggies, and Dante Hall took it the final 8 yards. So the Aggies will kick deep again. Shane Leckler into the football, and Mitch Bowles 3 yards deep, and he's coming out. And he'll get it to about the 17-yard line.
Let's take a look at this touchdown run. Left guard will pull. McKinney, the center, will reach. Watch the backside guard do a good job, Hamuli, and watch it open up underneath. The pull is there, turns it up inside of the linebacker. Look at Hamuli down the football field, pancaking his man. Easy cutback. Touchdown city for Dante Hall, almost untouched.
So Wegner goes to work again at his own 18-yard line. Handed to Bowles, trying to sweep wide, and Mitch Bowles stays on his feet across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Defensively, the Aggies will line up this way. They have an odd front, a 3-man front, 3 sophomores, Rocky Bernard, Ron Edwards, and Ronald Flemings. And the linebackers, Wynn gets all the attention, but let me tell you, Warwick Holdman is quite a player as well, the senior outside backer. In the secondary, the leader is Rich Cody. He's been the leading tackler among secondary players the last couple of years. Blitz coming. Wegner all kinds of time, throws it in the flat, and it's too tall for Mitch Bowles in the backfield. That'll bring up 3rd down and 7. And Dave, one of the keys for Kansas is they can't be in 3rd and long against a great defense like Texas A&M.
No doubt. If they get into 3rd down, they want it to be 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2, and convert 70% of the time. But you get in 3rd and long situations, and now Texas A&M comes with their pressure package. Kansas doesn't want to give up the big play. They don't want to give up a run of more than 15 yards. They want to win on 3rd down like we're talking about. They want to block Win. Block Dat Win to win, and that's tough. He already the big pick early in this game.
Down the middle, complete, and separated from the football's hill. He lost it on the huge collision by guess who? He's everywhere. Dat Win.
He makes plays at the line of scrimmage, and there's a flag on the play. Let's see what we've got here in the backfield. Let's see if we've got holding or roughing the quarterback. We got a face mask against Texas A&M. If that's 15 yards, that's an automatic 1st down.
Dave, the pass and throw were there. Pass and throw being the same thing, naturally.
Face mask on the defense, 15 yards, automatic 1st down.
And that's one thing Texas A&M wants to stay away from is self-destruction penalties. Dat Win plays the run exceptionally well. Immediate read of pass, gets back into his drop, his zone, takes a nice drop, and then he loves contact. He is a true linebacker because he will light you up. Every opportunity he gets, he's going to let you know he's around.
You start to wonder how many number 9s are on the field in white.
The thing about him, no false steps. Immediately, he was in his pass drop.
Chandler in motion. Here's Bowles again, and that wind got penetration. And then the play was finished off by Rocky Bernard. Let's take a look at the keys to victory for the Aggies.
And they want to execute in all phases today. No silly penalties, no drop passes, no overthrown footballs. Nebraska's on the horizon, but focus on Kansas today. Win field position. They certainly did that. They had the short field initially with the turnover to score and utilize their overall team speed, which is an edge in this game for them.
Wagner throws it in the flat. Here's Bowles. Nowhere to go. Jamison came up. The backup strong safety, Jason Webster, also there. Dave, Texas A&M really flies to the football.
I watched their opener against Florida State, and Texas A&M, I saw their defense on the field first, and I was impressed with their defensive team speed. Of course, Florida State is another notch above, but these guys fly to the football. They all pursue exceptionally well. Even the big people, the 3 sophomores up front, run very well.
3rd down and a dozen for Kansas. Pressure coming. Wagner has to throw it away. Bowles was well covered in the flat by Jay Brooks. So Kansas gets a 1st down via a penalty. And now they go backwards and have to punt the football to Texas A&M, who leads 7-0.
And it looked like Ron Edwards got the hit on the blind side of Wagner. So the pressure was there significantly enough where Wagner had to throw the ball prematurely.
Chris Taylor back deep. Matt Tyler will punt it. He'll hit it from about his own 25-yard line. Punting into the wind slightly. And this is very returnable. Taylor loses it now, just recover it at the 30-yard line. A punt of 35 yards. No return. Zach Wagner under heavy heat early. Jayhawks, let's check in with Jim Knox.
All right, Drew, it has rained most of the week in Lawrence, Kansas. Still, the turf has just a little bit slick, but they have the proper shoes on today, and that shouldn't be much of a problem. Now, both teams also, they have to be loving this weather. Temperatures in the lower 60s. First 4 games of the season, these guys have played in 100-plus temperatures.
I know the big guys like it, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Dave Lapham's been smiling since he got up at 5 this morning. Dante Hall smothered, maybe a loss of a yard. Steve Bratton, 54. Also number 41, Deion Rayford in there. Let's check the offensive line, the big people for Texas A&M. A group that is starting to come together. Big offensive line, they average 299. Samisi Haimuli, the best run blocker up front. And of the skill guys, Dante Hall, he's already been in the end zone today. He has fast feet, as they say. McCown to throw it. Here's Chris Cole. And Cole will be very close to a 1st down. In fact, he'll have enough for a 1st down. 1-yard line.
Gain of 11 on the play. For the 1st down at the 41.
Nice job by Andy Vincent out there, the big offensive lineman trying to get involved.
Deion Rayford, defensive line, a 3-4 look, very similar to Texas A&M. Patrick Brown has played forever here at the University of Kansas. He's now a grad student. Steve Bratton is playing with a bad knee. Jamie Harris, the only returning starter from a year ago. They lost 3 players from that secondary, which was a good one last year. On 1st down, Dante Hall, big opening. And a shoestring tackle by Michael Allen, the strong safety.
Tackle by number 20.
Nice surge up front by A&M that time. Everybody got into their blocks and moved Kansas off the line of scrimmage. Nice lead block also by the fullback, and that's key.
They need to get that running game going, don't they?
They want to control the line of scrimmage, and this is the biggest offensive line, heaviest offensive line that R.C. Slocum has had. They're a biscuit away from 300 pounds on the average.
They run the fullback, the true freshman Jamar Toombs from Kilgore, Texas. We had a chance to talk to R.C. Slocum about the quarterback change.
As it turned out, he went on the field. He was 11 out of 13, threw 2 touchdown passes, made a couple of key scrambles, and I thought really ignited our offense. So in light of that, I said, you know, we do this at every other position on the field. I did it at punt returner during the ball game, and you do it at a number of positions. So I said, you know, I feel like I can give him a chance to start the game and play.
Well, so far it's working out. Texas A&M on the move, 2nd down and 7. What does it do to the rest of the offensive unit when you have 2 different quarterbacks playing a lot, Dave?
Well, it sounds like this offensive unit has responded to Randy McCown's personality as much as anything. He's fiery. He challenges them in the huddle a little bit. And I think right now Brandon Stewart might feel a little sense of relief. As strange as that may sound, he handled it very professionally during the course of this week. He probably will take some snaps today.
An option look. Dante Hall, the pitch man, plenty of room. Inside the 20-yard line, and flags come in. Face mask in all probability. Patrick Brown saved the touchdown, but a big gainer for Hall.
Patrick Brown on the stop.
Tremendous block by the fullback, Toombs, on that play on the perimeter.
Our referee today, Tom Allers. Pickup of 26 yards.
The key to this, watch the block right here that the fullback makes on the perimeter, Toombs. Takes down to the football field. Contact, pancake. Kicked them out. Nice effort right there, giving a lane, a crease to be abused. And one of the keys for Kansas was not to give up a run of over 15 yards. That is by the board. Michael Allen tried to turn it back inside, but he could not handle Toombs.
1st and 10, the ball at the 11-yard line after the walk-off. Dante Hall straight ahead. Good gain to the 5-yard line. John Williams, the nose tackle, will get credit for the play, but tell you what, good gain again on 1st down.
Well, Kansas coming into this football game giving up over 230 yards a game on the ground, 101st in 1A division play. There's only 113 teams, so they were toward the bottom of the list and getting handled a little bit today in the running game.
Hall again, cutting it back, looking at the end zone. And he won't get across the goal line, but he's very close to a 1st down.
Number 45.
J.J. Johnson, inside linebacker, made the tackle. You saw the graphic a moment ago. Dante Hall in his career a shade under 7 yards in carry. That's crazy stuff.
Oh, that really is. I mean, when you can average that type of production every time you lug the football, that's unbelievable. I mean, that makes an offensive coordinator's job very, very simple because you're in a lot of 2nd and shorts, 3rd and shorts like A&M has been today.
They're going to mark the football outside the 1, so it's 3rd and a few inches for a 1st and about 1.5 yards for the touchdown. Ball into the end zone, touchdown Aggies. 13-0.
Nothing fancy there, Drew. Just smash mouth football. Line up, get him knocked off the line of scrimmage, lead back, through, Hall over the top.
That was an impressive drive. 70 yards. Dante Hall's 2nd touch of the day. Bynum out of the hold from Leckler, and he makes it 14-0. For Dante Hall, 4 touchdowns on the young season. 14-0 Aggies. Game already for Dante Hall in the background sitting down. 14-0 Texas A&M leading Kansas. With Jim Knox and Dave Lapham, I'm Drew Goodman. One of the great traditions in college football, the 12th man at Texas A&M running under kicks today, Chad Gary, 6'4" and 210, a redshirt freshman from Port Neches, Texas. And Mitch Bowles 3 yards deep. He'll haul it out again. He's got a seam to the 36-yard line.
A late flag.
Flag came in very late at the conclusion of the play. Jason Webster made the tackle for Texas A&M. I'll tell you, he almost busted that.
Boy, if that was an illegal block in the back, it was silly because it was well after the play was completed.
Dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness after the play was over. We'll go 15 yards back from the end of the run.
Well, that's just composure, Drew. Frustration right now, down 14-0, not even halfway through the first quarter of this football game, and the reaction is frustration. Let's take a look at the surge up front by the offensive line. Nothing fancy, just straight push, fullback lead, little ISO. Boy, absolutely crushed the linebacker, knocked the linebacker out of there like a cork out of the bottle. J.J. Johnson, boom. There's the hit. Johnson's knocked backwards and flat on his back. Nice job by the fullback Toombs right there.
So from the 21-yard line, Mitch Bowles gets just a yard or two. Actually, it's David Winbush in there now. David Winbush for a couple. He had 99 yards last week on the ground against UAB. Yeah, you're looking for a break, something to spark you down 14-0 at home. And Terry Allen's club, after a nice return by Bowles, instead of being out close to the 40-yard line, they're backed up near their own 20.
Field position has hurt them. Turnovers and silly penalty.
Here's Winbush again, trying to go wide, and he'll get to the corner. Winbush still going. Out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Pretty run there by the sophomore from Killeen, Texas.
Winbush froze Cody, and then once he froze him, he accelerated to the outside and speed one out. He bounced it. This play was designed to go off tackle, bounced it, froze Cody inside, and then ran to the outside. Nice downfield blocking, giving him extra yardage. Excellent effort at the wide receiver position by Fulton. Take a look at Fulton down the football field as he locks up and gets 5 extra yards due to the effort.
Wagner play action. He wants a bunch. Postman's out there. It's Fulton. Touchdown strike. Wagner was on the money there. Well, one moment Fulton's a blocker, the next moment he's wide open.
Looked like Patton was the defensive back that was beaten on that one. No safety help in the middle. And the key, quarterback doing a nice job. Wagner stepping up, stepping up in the pocket to buy himself some more time. A&M, it looked like, gave up on the coverage a little bit. Assumed quarterback sack, and they get burned.
Joe Garcia pumps through the extra point. 14-7. Kansas comes right back. Termaine Fulton. He's a sophomore from Topeka, Kansas. And you talk about wide open.
Wide open big time. Little play action fake. Trying to freeze the linebackers. It does a decent job of doing that. No safety. Cody's locked up inside on the tight end. No safety down the middle. Over the top. It's just foot speed at that point in time. Fulton won it easily, and the defensive back that was beaten over the top was Jason Webster. And Wagner did a nice job of slide stepping up in the pocket, buying additional time. Boy, nice celebration right there by the big offensive line as well.
It's a terrific throw. It almost looked like Fulton caught it one-handed, Dave.
He made a nice effort on the play. That's one of those plays you can't afford to miss. About 5 or 6 times a game, you have an opportunity for a big play, and 3 plays, 79 yards. Fulton, the balance of it, was 58 yards on his touchdown reception. Of course, Buick loves to see those long scoring drives. A long drive with Buick. You gotta love that.
Well, you're in the right car for it.
Absolutely.
So Terry Allen's team on the board. And this will be Sir Parker. Wrapped up from behind at the 28-yard line. A return of 12 yards. Greg Erb, defensive back, covered the kick. So some smiles now on the KU sideline. Termaine Fulton, usually when he hauls one in, it's for big yardage.
And that was huge yardage. Over 50 yards on that touchdown reception. Look at that. Over 24 yards per catch. Everybody, all the receivers from Kansas make big plays on the reception.
Sir Parker's in at tailback for Texas A&M, and he gets the call. Tripped up after about 5 or 6. Chad Colner, the free safety, hit him around the legs. Actually, he'll probably end up getting 7 yards on the play.
Sir Parker has that breathtaking speed. He scares you every time he touches the football. Not running the ball very well yet this season. 2.8 yards per attempt will attest to that, but great receiver out of the backfield as well.
Parker gets twisted around after a pickup of a couple. He's close to a first down. Colner and Deion Rayford in there defensively for the Jayhawks.
Kansas trying to do some things up front, load the line of scrimmage to stop the running play. They brought a linebacker up inside between the center and guard. He hit the gap, and the nose tackle twisted around him.
He got enough for the first down.
Let's take a look at it. Stunt inside, nose guard twists around. Safety has to come up and get involved in the play, though.
Texas has had 6 first down plays. All of them have been runs. Till now, this is Cole on a hitch. And Kansas reacts pretty well. Colner got over there after an advance of 4.
One thing that was noticeable on the last rush, though, that Kansas defensively had the safety involved very, very quickly. A little nosy. A&M may take note of that. Last week, they had 3 touchdown passes out of run formations. And they little play action pass over the top 3 times for scores. Let's see if they may think about it out of the 2-back set.
Parker hitting the backfield. Big hit coming up was J.J. Johnson.
Good shot.
And you know what? Coaching staff told us yesterday he needed to play well, Dave.
Yeah, they needed a big game out of him, and so far, Toombs has gotten the best of Johnson a lot of times on ISO. This time, though, Johnson hits the line of scrimmage cleanly, and he's disruptive. He gets in the backfield before Texas A&M can recover.
And he's quick, too.
Boy, he's lightning quick. Superman, and S on his chest.
3rd down and 5. McCown can run, but he won't get to the sticks. Terrific job by Muhammad Abdul-Rahim coming up. That's a tough tackle.
In space, one-on-one, and he made the play. And getting McCown out of pocket is what was successful for Texas A&M a little bit last week. Intentionally get him out of pocket so they can't line up and go at the same aiming point at the quarterback in the pocket, but sure tackle. Nice job right there.
Shane Leckler, 3rd in the nation, punting the football at close to 48 yards a boot. And Henry Childs, who's gone the distance once this year, back at his own 10. And Leckler trying to punt it away from Childs. This is a great punt.
Beautiful.
I mean, gorgeous. It just trickled in the end zone. A punt of 53 yards.
Not only the distance, but the directional kick. Childs has taken one back 79 yards. We saw Harrison Hill in the open take his back 81 yards against UAB. They lead the entire country. Look at that, almost 27 yards per punt return. That is phenomenal. Nice job that time by Leckler, though. Distance and directional kick.
He played against his father, Henry Childs.
Good tight end for a lot of years.
Wagner gives it to Bowles. And Bowles run out of bounds after about 3 yards. And we check in with Jim Knox.
Drew, no 12th man today for the Aggies the rest of the afternoon because Chad Gary has pulled a hamstring. He's out for the rest of the day. Now, Chad Franson, who used to be the 12th man, will take his spot. This is the 2nd straight week the Aggies have lost a 12th man. Last week, they lost one in the game against North Texas.
I believe it was a hamstring injury also, Jim, so the 12th man got to do a little more stretching, I guess, in pregame.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 7. Kansas down 14-7, nowhere to go. Play made. Cornelius Anthony in there. Bradley as well. Scores from around the country. Penn State, number 7 in the nation, leading right now in Columbus. Miami, 6-0. Indiana's got a field goal up, and number Florida leading against Alabama.
Once again, Kansas finding themselves in 3rd and long too often.
They need 10 here. A&M brings 4, swinging to Bowles. Dak Wynn finishes him off about 5 yards shy of where he needed to get. Boy, he reacts so quickly. What else makes him special, Dave?
Well, he's so instinctive. He reads his key sheets. He gets little tips that help him, and he bursts so well. Watch Dak Wynn right in the middle of the screen. Number 9 taking his pass drop. 4 wide receivers tried to spread the field and dump it off. Makes the first one miss, but Dak Wynn does not miss. That's one of his strengths, pursuit and deadly tackling.
Taylor from the 30. And he's dropped at the 40, punt of 45, return of 10. So good field position for Texas A&M. Next week, we have a great one for you. Is there a better rivalry in college football than the Red River battle between Texas and Oklahoma? It'll come your way from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, so 11:30. 10:30 in the Mountain Time Zone, 12:30 in the East, and 9:30 Pacific. I've gotten all the time zones, haven't I?
There you go.
Hawaii, it's real early.
And this game over the years has had national championship implications, and the Big 12 hopes that'll be the case again.
Short side option, McCown to keep, and he gets maybe a yard or 2. Good defense there by Kansas.
Kansas doing a little bit better job of holding up at the line of scrimmage right now. Early on in this football game, I think they were overwhelmed by Texas A&M's ability to surge off the line of scrimmage and sustain blocks. I think this is the biggest and probably most athletic offensive line they may have faced this season.
Seems like Kansas has been re-energized on both sides of the ball, particularly defensively after that long touchdown pass. They bring a blitz. McCown throwing underneath, and the football's dropped. Cole had it, and now a flag comes in. Cole dropped the football.
It was a hit after the ball was most definitely dropped. There was a late hit by Kansas, but it didn't look like that much of a shot. I think they're calling Abdul Rahim for the late hit. It's being discussed right now.
Again, our lead official today.
They may be picking it up. Let's see. I think they're picking it up.
We will disregard the flag while the receiver was in the air. Please disregard the flag.
That's a good call. I don't think that play had any effect on the play, or it wasn't a dramatic cheap shot after the play. The ball's being bobbled. But boy, it's very obvious. Abdul Rahim sees that Cole did drop the football. I guess the officials, in their mindset, he didn't try to blow him up, so they picked the flag up.
Texas A&M has struggled on 3rd down, particularly early in games. They need 9. Blitz again coming. And wide of Cole, Rahim had the coverage, and the Aggies will have to punt it away. R.C. Slocum is hot on the A&M sideline.
What Kansas tried to do here was show Kansas fake blitz with the linebackers and then drop one out. One blitz, the other one drops. Trying to confuse McCown a little bit. He made the proper read, though, just overthrew Cole's. Pretty good coverage.
Leckler will punt it again. Childs back at his 15. Another huge punt from Leckler. Childs from the 10. And he puts his head down and gets to the 20-yard line. That punt, 48 yards. And a 10-yard return from Henry Childs. Toya Jones down on coverage for Texas A&M. Let's take a look at our Dr. Pepper conference leaders in the Big 12. Passing yards, Texas on top, then K-State. The University of Kansas 3rd in the conference throwing the football. And I think Terry Allen would like to see his club right at the top of those standings in a year or two.
I agree. They want to be a little different. Fire and fall back.
Winbush. And he couldn't break that tackle. Good open field tackle by Jay Brooks, his buddy from back in Killeen, Texas. Those guys are best friends. And they meet on the college football field. Jay Brooks won that battle.
Getting reacquainted. Winbush had some success bouncing a play earlier in the football game, and his foot speed allowed him on the edge. That time, don't fall in love with it. Don't go to the well too often. A&M's pursuit will get you.
Winbush on a draw. Too crowded in the middle. Dat Win. Number 9 there defensively for the Aggies. And it'll set up third down of somewhat considerable distance.
And they blitzed Cornelius Anthony right at the play, but it was picked up pretty well by Kansas. They blitzed the linebacker trying to blow the play up. It was a good guess, good call, but executed pretty well up front by the Kansas offensive line.
Third down and 7. They need the 30-yard line. Flag comes in. Wagner throws underneath. And that'll actually be a loss of a couple of yards to Jason Gully, the tight end.
Gully was in motion, lining back up into the backfield as the second back in a two-back set. He was not set for a full second before the snap of the football. So they're going to call, I think, a legal procedure on Kansas. When being told the options is, if this is fourth down, I'm sure, and it is fourth down, I'm sure A&M will decline this penalty and have Kansas kick the football away.
14-7 our score. A&M broke out 14-0. Kansas had a big play in the passing game to get within a touchdown.
On the offense, decline. We have an illegal shift on the offense. And also a decline.
A double penalty. Gully's illegal shift was the first penalty, and then there was holding in the pass protection, allowing Wagner to get rid of the football. Both penalties declined by A&M.
Matt Tyler will punt it, and Texas A&M figures to get good field position. Chris Taylor back at his own 40. Good high punt here. Taylor makes a man miss. Flip side of the 50 to the 49-yard line of Kansas. Let's pick up some of the big plays in the game.
Well, Dat Win makes the biggest play in the first possession. Reads quarterback's eyes, breaks on Wagner's throw, sets his team up for a short field touchdown, and it's finalized right here by Hall. Excellent blocking up front. Hall is just barely touched as he takes it into the end zone. Here's the second touchdown for A&M. A big surge up front. Nice lead blocked by the fullback Toombs, and Hall the beneficiary again.
Dante Hall back in there at tailback. Sir Parker had the last series. Randy McCown wants to throw it. Now he's going to run it. Good decision. 12 yards and a first down to the 37-yard line of the Jayhawks. Run out by Patrick Brown.
Well, McCown's first and second options weren't there. Tuck it and run. That's what they like about him. Brandon Stewart, for whatever reason, had a hesitancy to tuck the football and run and make something happen when the coverage was outstanding. McCown came off the bench last week and did that to the tune of about 40 yards.
Offset eye on 1st and 10. Movement on the left side of the offensive line for Texas A&M.
Yeah, it came out of there a little quickly. I think it was the big left tackle, Rex Tucker, I believe.
Prior to the snap, a false start on the offense. 5 yards to take it out.
You can't move before the football moves. And right here, left tackle, watch him come out of the stance before the football moves, before the football snap. Pretty good footwork, though. He's got a nice base, but it's all for naught.
So 1st and 15. Slot to the top of the screen for Texas A&M. Dante Hall, huge opening. And he gets most of it back in one fell swoop.
Tackled by Michael.
Boy, he hits the hole in a New York minute, doesn't he?
Well, what they want to try to do with Dante Hall, Drew, is to make him bounce it. Don't get his shoulder pads squared up. You're playing free safety. Those shoulder pads are squared up. Oh, baby, here he comes. Runs right back, right past the safety. He comes up for unblocked to get the free shot. Chad Colner, and he can't even lay a glove on Dante Hall because of his quick feet.
Colner felt like he was in high heels. That'll do it for the first quarter. It was entertaining. Texas A&M leading by a touch. Overcast autumn day in eastern Kansas. It is football weather.
This is great football weather. You can play all day. Even the hogs between the hash marks can run all day today.
25-yard line, 1st and 10 for Texas A&M. They're on the move. Hall, stutter step. He got 3, and then Michael Allen stood him up, the strong safety. Let's glance at the first quarter numbers. Huge advantage on the ground for Texas A&M.
Right, and then Kansas is throwing the ball a little bit better. But here's the story right here. 28-yard differential in starting point for A&M. 5 possessions they've had, and they've had a 28-yard differerential in starting position. That's over a football field and hidden yards right there.
Ball erased by Deion Rayford, though he stayed on his feet for a moment. 41's quick. Rayford at 250-plus pounds runs 4.6 in the 40.
And now Kansas gets to use their zone blitz defense a little bit as they're in 3rd and long. Pretty good job by Kansas making a read here. Everybody on their feet in pursuit. Pretty good effort. Rayford, of course, is the penetrator and the disruptor. Right now, though, 3rd and long. Let's see if Kansas State can unleash their zone blitz here a little bit.
Aggies need the 15-yard line. McCown, it's dropped this time by Leroy Hodge. That's the second drop of a pretty good thrown football by Randy McCown today.
McCown has been very accurate with the football. And once again, they get McCown out of pocket. Watch him get out of pocket to change the aiming point for the rush people. If you always drop the quarterback straight back, they can just pin their ears back to get there. Roll him out beyond the tackle, throws back across his body extremely accurately, and with good touch, flat out drop, going for it on 4th down.
Well, their kicking game has been a little suspect of late. Russell Bynum missed a couple of field goals last week. He would be 40 yards into the win. 4th and 8, blitz coming. Fade route toward Hodge, and good coverage by Jamie Harris, the veteran of the Kansas secondary. And Texas A&M turns it over on downs.
Well, they went after Hodge. McCown went after Hodge with a fade route, and Hodge got his head turned around a little late to find the football, but once he did, he is entitled to the same spot on the football field that the receiver is. Little pushing and shoving on both ends right there. Hodge pushing, no harm, no foul. Harris pushing. Harris in the coverage. Hodge pushing.
Texas A&M was 6 of 6 on 4th down till that play. Wegner throws it up, and Fulton has to play defensive back.
They reversed roles, and he did it well. That's excellent coverage. Now Brooks is the defender. Fulton in the blue jersey is the receiver, but by position they had to reverse roles. And Fulton played corner and stripped the football away. That's pretty. I'll tell you what, he's pretty natural looking corner out there.
Yeah, maybe it goes both ways.
I'm telling you.
Maybe another Woodson, huh? Here's the delay to Bowles. And he pays for the 3 yards he gains. Jason Glenn and number 9, Dat Win in the middle of things.
I thought Jason Bowles was a little bit delayed in the delay. If he hit that line of scrimmage a little bit quicker, there was something happening there. But the thing about Texas A&M, they separate from blocks and get to the football. They don't stay blocked long. It has to be quick hitting plays against this defensive unit.
3rd down and 7. Kansas in motion. Wynn coming on the edge on a blitz. Here's Hill. Huge hit from Warren Holdman. Holdman nearly knocked out Harrison Hill. And the Wrecking Crew defense forces a 3-and-out.
Well, they try to get a wide receiver screen out there to Hill. A couple steps down the football field and takes it back up the football field. A mismatch size-wise, and Hill pays. Man, that's just a great shot. That's textbook. Holdman right under the chin. Picture tackle right there.
Matt Tyler to punt. This time it's Dante Hall back deep. And this is returnable.
Oh.
And Hall lost the football.
Saying he was down.
Texas A&M recovered it anyhow. Big collision around the 46-yard line. Punt of 41 from Tyler and a 13-yard return from Dante Hall. 14-7, Texas A&M leading. This week from Lawrence, Kansas, and the Aggies leading the Jayhawks 14-7. Dante Hall had a big collision.
Real big collision. He got caught up in a massive humanity, and his forward progress is stopped. I think that's what they ruled, because the ball did come out of there. A&M does recover it anyway, but they don't lose that 3 or 4 yards of field position. Once again, A&M with a short field, starting at their own 46-yard line. Their starting point for every drive has been outstanding.
Seems it's always been close to midfield. Sir Parker gets the handoff, and he breaks the tackle and gets forward progress right around midfield.
And the tackle that he broke was by a big defensive lineman, Deion Johnson. Deion Johnson tried to tackle him up high and didn't finalize. Sir Parker showing some strength, just throwing him off his shoulder pads like he was a lot smaller man. Deion's a big guy, 290 pounds.
He's got at least 100 on Parker.
Yep.
Kansas shows blitz. They come with it. Hall gets past the line of scrimmage, and then Colner with a very short tackle, and he lost his hat.
Well, you want to talk about football. You want to talk about collisions. Tremendous collision between Bratton at inside linebacker and Toombs at fullback. Unbelievable shot. You can blitz to stop the run, and that's what Kansas did.
I think he broke his helmet. That's why there were whistles as the Aggies came up to the line of scrimmage. I want to make sure all the screws are tightened, and he still has a chin strap. They say Chad Colner may be the best athlete on the Kansas Jayhawk team. He's a junior from Salina. 3rd down and 3. First down and more. Inside the 40 to the 38 of Kansas. Colner and Raheem on the tackle.
This is the bread and butter play. Watch the left guard pull. Kansas fullback's block, and the left guard takes it up the football field. If you see the fullback's numbers, you turn it upfield. Nice kick out by the fullback. Nice execution by the left guard, turning it up for positive yards.
10-11 more. Colner jumped on his back. You have to think that R.C. Slocum would be pretty pleased with the running game thus far in the contest for Texas A&M.
Texas A&M, they wanted to establish the line of scrimmage, and I would say that they've done that. For the most part this afternoon, they've gotten pretty good push up front. Got things started very well.
Dante Hall 4 yards shy of 100 here in the first half. Get it on that carry, however.
Ball carrier number 34, Hall.
He got 2 as Nate Dwyer brought him down. 2nd down and 8. Well, Texas A&M, you know about their defense, but offensively, this is un-Aggie-like.
It really is, particularly that. 129 yards a game rushing. That's very un-Aggie-like. We're seeing one running back, Hall, in the first quarter, in the first half of this football game, close to establishing that number by himself.
They've gone 7 straight games without going over 30 points. That's the longest drought in 11 years for the Aggies. And Toombs trying to run through tacklers, got a couple. Nate Dwyer hung on.
Well, Toombs giving him a little reward because he has done some fantastic lead blocking. So let the big dog eat. Give him a bone. Every once in a while, keep him happy. Let him hammer it up in there between the tackles. Not much success on that occasion, but at least he gets a little reward for his blocking effort.
Yeah, he's big enough, you might have to give him a couple of bones.
I'll tell you, I don't know if you can find a collar big enough for that bad boy.
3rd down and 6. The crowd lost the football. Now he gets it away. Oh, huge hit.
Raheem with a big stick.
Mohamed Abdul-Rahim on Dante Hall, and that may have taken him out of field goal range.
And one of the reasons coaches are apprehensive about the shotgun is for this reason. Decent snap, took his eyes off it a little bit, looking downfield to try to read the coverage. Now the timing is all disrupted as a result of the timing being off. Raheem makes an easy read and detonates. Boy, he had dynamite caps on his helmet that time and blew him up.
Leckler to punt. Remember, he's a former quarterback from the 31-yard line. And he's just going to try to line drive this thing out of bounds, and he did a marvelous job inside the 5-yard line.
Field position woes continue for Kansas. They have a long field for their offense and short field for their defense all day.
Happy birthday.
Oh, good. Another apple. Where's Danny? Oh, you get down on the way I use my...
7:58 to go in the second quarter. Texas A&M leading by a touchdown. They have Kansas backed up at their own 5-yard line. And Kansas, save one big play, has not gotten a lot done offensively. David Winbush. And he'll get a little room for the offense with that 8-yard carry. Last year, Kansas in total offense was 112th in the country, dead last. Look at the improvement they've made after a year with Terry Allen.
Right now with 38 points a game, that's 19th in the country. And look at the total yards. Over a football field in a quarter right there of improvement. That's serious real estate.
Second and short. Winbush will have a first down. That's a big first down out to the 17-yard line. Straight ahead, David Winbush got enough.
And watch the block of the fullback right in front of the tailback here, the fullback Norris. He had a great block on the play before on his ISO lead, that time doing a good job of sealing off the edge. The right side of the Jayhawk offensive line is pretty effective. Justin Glasgow and Michael Lease. Lease, the best athlete of the bunch up front.
Chad Franson's in at linebacker for Dat Wynn. And about 3 yards more for David Winbush. Bringing up second down. I'm sure Dat Wynn's just fine. He will take off a series here and there. Penn State 14-3 at the half on Ohio State. That would be a mild upset for Joe Paterno. Indiana leading at the half. And Florida in a tussle with Bama.
And Bama got blown up by Arkansas last week.
They did. How about San Jose State? They've been sneaky this year.
And doing it to Virginia today so far.
They bring Gummy into the backfield. Blitz comes. Sack from behind. Jamison, the strong safety, got him. First sack of the day, just the 7th on the season for the A&M defense.
Well, they just overloaded by a man. A&M had one more defender off the edge. Watch off the edge. Jamison will come. Off the slot. He comes, vacates coverage and comes off the slot. One more man than Kansas can block on that side. No chance. Absolute blindside shot right there. No chance for the quarterback to get rid of the football.
Now 3rd down at 14. Wedge Heat has a man wide open. Fulton was open in the zone, and Wegner missed him. Fulton, who scored the touchdown earlier, was by himself for a moment.
Pretty good protection up front. Kansas offensive line slides to the right side. And they do a pretty good job of picking it up. Wegner just knows that he didn't throw a football accurately enough there that had big play potential written on it.
Matt Tyler will punt it. Chris Taylor around midfield. And it's a good punt. Taylor back to his own 39. And a pretty nifty return by Taylor. Again, great field position for the Aggies. Place. The Jayhawks' lone touchdown came late in the first quarter.
Well, Gully, the tight end, takes a route, and that wind has him underneath, and Cody jumps on him, number 48 at safety. No safety in the middle of the field. Wegner reads that. Once the receiver's got the corner beaten, it's easy pickings at that point, and Fulton was the beneficiary of Cody jumping on the tight end underneath and vacating the middle of the football field.
Another short field now for Texas A&M at the plus 43-yard line. McCown. Oh, move, looking for Parker. And Colner got over to help out. McCown's pass a little bit too far.
Michael Allen bit on the double move. I thought he could have been called for defensive holding because he reached out and tried to grab. He was beaten. Watch up here on the top. As the route is run, watch Michael Allen. He bites on the pump fake and now grabs. And he spins himself to the ground. Pretty nice job by Sir Parker to break free of that. No call, though.
Guess he didn't grab good enough.
Right.
Blitz coming. Hall sneaks through. And then Colner wraps him up. He got about 3 or 4. And it'll set up third down. You know, for Texas A&M, they've been playing on a 50-yard field. And for Kansas, the opposite goal line must look like 3 miles away.
No question. And A&M 2 for 6 on third down. Drew, this is a third down distance that favors Kansas defensively. I think that was only the second time all game that A&M has thrown the ball on first down, that little double move.
They haven't really needed to. Ball goes in motion. McCown in trouble. He's got a lot of room now. But it breaks down. Good defense by the Jayhawks. Hanson Caston, number 11, chased him down.
Well, you have a pass rush by Caston matched up on a fullback. And that's a mismatch in favor of Kansas. And they took advantage of it. Watch the fullback try to pick up Caston on the blitz. Caston gets off well. Toomer's in position. He just gets bull rushed right back into the quarterback's lap. Has to vacate the pocket. Can't break a tackle to make the big play.
Hey, Dave, decision time again for R.C. Slocum, and he's called the timeout. It's 4th down and 4, and they're kind of in that gray area.
Yeah, this is a very long field goal. The concern you have if you go for a field goal here, it's a low trajectory, possible block, take it back for a touchdown. Kansas has scored a bunch of special teams and defensive touchdowns. In fact, 12 in the last 15 games under Terry Allen. So I'm sure that's going through their minds. Special team possibility of a mishap. And then if you punt the football, if you punt it in the end zone, you only pick up 12 yards of field position.
Next Saturday, our Dr. Pepper Big 12 Game of the Week rolls into Dallas for the Red River Battle, a game that really needs no introduction.
Just going through the tunnel and walking out on the field, it was just the most goosebump moment of my life. It's a great rivalry, a classic, and it will remain that way as long as they play.
The 93rd get-together between Texas and Oklahoma next Saturday morning at 11:30 from the State Fair of Texas. Back in Lawrence, 4th and 4 for the Aggies. McCown, man open, Cole. First down to the 29-yard line. Well executed, well delivered by the junior McCown.
Big play, 4th down, and going into this football game, Texas Tech 6 for 6 in fourth down conversions. Add another one to the list. And this is not an easy fourth down conversion. This isn't 4th and 1. Throwing the football, rolling the quarterback out of the pocket, giving him a two-way go, run-pass option. Nice effort.
Runs into Steve Bratton, the senior from Arvada, Colorado. And Steve Bratton's an interesting guy. He runs around in outfits from the 70s. That's his wardrobe, Dave.
He is. He's a little different. Linebackers usually are. And he likes to wear the bell bottoms and the Nehru coats and has some fun with it.
And every week it's a chance to get ready to play. He has a really bad knee. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Delayed a haul again, and Bratton makes the play again. No gain. And we talked to Terry Allen about Steve Bratton and his 70s wardrobe.
Well, he's retro, I think is the appropriate term for it, and that's really my age group. So I've got some of the old bell bottoms and leisure suits that he wears around. I said, Steve, I'd be happy to give those to you if I can find them down in the closet, but we'll have to wait till you're done with your eligibility. He was so excited he wanted to come over and look at them so he could get his wardrobe picked out for months to come.
That's, of course, if Dave Lapham doesn't get in his closet first.
Yeah, right.
3rd down and a dozen. McCown, time breaking down. And Kansas arrives with the sack. Steve Bratton was there again, along with Patrick Brown, 47, and several other blue jerseys. Deion Johnson also there.
Exactly. Several blue jerseys. Everybody got a significant push. Everybody kept their pass rush lanes. Out of the shotgun, 2 backs in to help with protection. Makes McCown vacate the pocket early. He has to tuck it. Nowhere to go with the football. That's a coverage sack. Good team defense right there.
Leckler will punt it. Again, he'll try the coffin corner job. Childs back at his own 10. Doesn't figure to get a chance to return it. This is another beautiful job by Leckler. You know what? He's got the driver, Dave. He also has the sand wedge in his package.
He really does, and he's accurate with it.
25-yard punt, but it pins Kansas at the 7-yard line. And let's pay a visit to Jim Knox.
All right, Kate, thanks a lot, Drew. Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at Dave's coaching tips. Big Dave will go down on the defensive line. We'll go over defensive stunning. We'll also take a look back at Big 12 action from last week and look ahead at some terrific matchups in Big 12 later on tonight, including a report from Kansas City on tonight's Nebraska-Oklahoma State game. All this coming your way at half.
All right, Knoxy, thanks. Hand off to Bowles, and he'll get it close to the 10-yard line. You know, if you're Terry Allen, Dave, and you look at the scoreboard, there's a $1:35 to go in the first half. A&M's had a short field the whole half, and you're only down 7 points.
Oh, really? I mean, they've been dodging bullets left and right. A&M, on the flip side, have not taken advantage of all their opportunities. And Terry Allen feeling that they're staying close under adverse conditions. That win that time, you know, people say, let's run right at him. He's so active. He can run so well. They run the ISO right at him, and he gets underneath the fullback and disrupts the play by playing with lower pad level.
You got to love his intensity. He's listed at 220 pounds. I don't think he's that big. Bowles to the corner. Gets 5 yards. Setting up 3rd down and a couple. Brandon Jennings, the free safety, number 30, tripped him up. You know, Kansas has a couple of good backs, and Mike Hankowitz, the defensive coordinator for Texas A&M, said Bowles and Winbush will test us.
Exactly. It's the first. This is the best running game they've faced since the opener against Florida State.
And Travis Minor's pretty good back. 30 seconds to go in the first half. Kansas, I'm sure, will be content to go in down by 7. Keep it on the ground. Bowles lost his footing. And now, with 15 seconds to go, I'm sure Texas A&M will force Kansas to punt by calling a timeout, and that's exactly what they've done.
Warwick Holdman makes a great defensive play. Norris is the lead blocker. Watch Norris, number 33 in the blue jersey, coming right at you. Watch what Holdman does. Gets underneath his pad, stuffs him. Norris holds him. No call. He stuffs the lead block, and he throws the play for a loss, and a penalty could have been called that wasn't. That's a pretty good effort right there by an outside linebacker, Warwick Holdman, a real man on the edge.
6'1", 230-pound senior. And Wynn and Holdman have been quite a combination in their career.
Tackles for loss. Look at that, 66 tackles for loss between these two guys in their career. And that's another one added to Holdman's record right there.
We were talking about Datwin's size a moment ago. We asked him about being undersized and how he gets ready every week.
Coaches help me out a lot. We do a lot of line movement, and when we do a lot of line movement, we mess up the linemen. Certain different plays and different situations, they cover me up a lot of times where they allow me just to run in to make tackles. But a lot of times, for me, I got to be a lot, step ahead.
Well, a lot of times he is a step ahead. Most of the time he's 2 steps ahead.
Well, what he does, Drew, is he changes the angles offensive linemen have to take. You don't run across a guy as quick as Datwin, and he makes you change your whole game to try to block him.
Can he play in the NFL, Dave?
Not at linebacker, I don't think. I mean, I'm not sure he's somewhere between 215 and 220. I think that would be a real push. You would have to totally protect him, cover him up. He could never be one-on-one with a lineman in the NFL, I don't think. But I'll tell you, he'd be a great special teams player. I'd draft him just for that in the late rounds.
2 seconds to go. Trips to the near side. I think we're going to see Hail Mary. McCown stretching out his arm. Cole's down there, and it is broken up by Abdul Rahim. And that is that for the first half in Lawrence, Kansas. Texas A&M got off to the fast start, but just a touchdown game at
the break. Delta, British Airways, Northwest, KLM, United. All of these, in fact, most of the world's major airlines, domestic and international, rely on this oil company for fuel. When it really counts, they seem to be the one to count on. With that in mind, what kind of gasoline do you think they'd make for your car? You'd be right. Citgo, when it counts.
Sometimes the toughest decision is deciding when to make your move. If you've been waiting to refinance, make your move now with the new Ultimate 125 loan from First Plus. It lets you refinance up to 125% of the value of your home, no equity required, so you can consolidate bills and get extra cash all in one loan. Make your move count with the new Ultimate 125 only at First Plus.
Hey, son, get back here.
Call 1-800-510-PLUS.
In a world where every second counts, a quick call can make a big difference.
Cordell, I think the safety will bite on the play action. Try. All right. Thanks, Bob.
That's why now all calls under 30 seconds are free. Introducing Sprint Sense Anytime, where all calls are a dime a minute and calls under 30 seconds are on our dime. Call 1-800-913-9739. Because when you get Sprint Sense Anytime, all of your calls are just one unrestricted dime a minute.
They want to know when you're going to join the team. Make me an offer.
Anytime to anywhere.
Yeah, you coming to dinner Sunday?
I've got a game on Sunday, Pop.
That wasn't a question, son. I'll see you later.
Call now to sign up for Sprint Sense Anytime. Every call is just a dime a minute, and calls under 30 seconds are free. Call 1-800-913-9739 for Sprint Sense Anytime.
Thanks, Bob.
Big 12 football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. By Citgo. Depend on Citgo when it counts. And by Nations Bank, the official bank of the Big 12 Conference.
The most beautiful Chi Omega fountain on the campus of Kansas University, and at halftime, right here in Lawrence, Kansas, Texas A&M leading Kansas by the score of 14-7. Hello again, everyone. I'm Jim Knox, and it is time for Dave's coaching tips today. Big Dave Lapham goes to the defensive line and demonstrates the proper technique on the defensive line as far as stunning goes.
We continue our Heritage Day.
lot of times during the course of a game, you see a defensive lineman get a free shot, a clean hit on the quarterback, and as a fan, you say, what happened? Brain cramp by the offensive line? Assignment error? Not necessarily. More times than not, great teamwork up front by the defensive linemen, the defensive tackles and defensive ends. We're going to show you line twist today. Let's take a look at it. Justin Glasgow and Michael Lease will be the offensive linemen demonstrating for us here from Kansas. On the defensive side of the football, Deion Rayford and Kareem Carter. Guys, let's line up and show an ET stunt here initially. And this is going to be a quick stunt, quick penetration. Defensive end will penetrate, grab two, and then Rayford will loop free. Set, hut. Take a look at Carter. He grabs two offensive linemen, consumes two, makes it a very easy chore for Rayford to come clean to the quarterback. The guy that does all the dirty work doesn't get the credit for the quarterback sack. Let's take a look at a delay tackle and twist. Same type of scenario. Offensive linemen initially think it's going to be a straight rush up the football field, but that's not the case. Set, hut, up the field, grabs two, consumes two. Carter comes clean to the quarterback. There's always somebody that does the dirty work. The blue-collar guy grabs two. And the guy that gets the quarterback sack has the easiest task. He just comes clean, not touched, unimpeded to the quarterback. Crazy game.
Thanks a lot, Big Dave. Coming up, a look back in the Big 12. We're at halftime, and Texas A&M has the 7-point lead over the Kansas Jayhawks.
Here's a tool so handy you'll want several. One for the toolbox, workshop, camper, boat, car, even the kitchen drawer. It slices and strips wire faster and cleaner than any other wire cutters we've seen. Just turn and pull, and the wire practically jumps out of its skin. You get a perfect pigtail every time. Its carbide sharpener will put a super sharp, long-lasting edge on almost any blade in your home. It cuts tile, slices and strips wire, it sharpens, and more. No wonder it's called the multi-tool. What it does will amaze you and everybody else. Now, for a limited time, if you take advantage of this special TV offer, we'll tell you how to get a multi-tool absolutely free. Yes, one free if you order from this TV ad now. Watch carefully. Have you ever seen anything cut glass like this tool? This is 3/8-inch thick steel-reinforced plate glass. Let's see if multi-tool is up to the challenge. There you go. No problem. From thick glass to delicate mirror, multi-tool cuts it safely and easily. Call or send now. There's never been a better tool for cutting tile. You can get multi-tool for only $9.98. Why, this one circular tile cut alone is worth the price of multi-tool. At the other end, you'll find a blade so sharp it slices carpet effortlessly without rips or tears. You'll use it again and again because it's the sharpest knife you'll ever own. Special carbide grooves let you sharpen scissors. Even inexpensive kids' scissors will cut like magic. Multi-tool brings new life to old tools, like these rusted trimmers. Dull metal particles fly off as multi-tool puts a new edge on this old hoe. Use it on lawnmower blades and axes. Call or send now. Multi-tool is only $9.98. Order two and we'll include a third multi-tool free. Yes, order two and you'll get one free. Act now.
There's a lot of things that set A&M apart from other universities. The quality of education that you get at Texas A&M. It has great resources, the traditions of A&M. The network that's out there of Aggies is just so vast. It's not only just a degree that I got from A&M. There's a great deal of responsibility that goes along with that. Responsibility to maintain the integrity and the high moral standards that an Aggie is supposed to have.
To Dante Hall touchdown. So far the difference in this game as Texas A&M leads Kansas 14-7. Well, big plays and a Heisman Trophy type performance. Bill Land, who's in Norman, Oklahoma today, takes a look back in this week's Big 12 Conference Cuts.
Thanks, Jim. Here at the University of Oklahoma, they're excited about homecoming as the Sooners face Colorado. This is the first full weekend of Big 12 conference play. The Big 12 certainly picked up some notice nationally with a lot of non-conference wins, including a 5-0 mark last week against non-conference opponents. It headlines our conference cuts.
No way to put a negative spin on last week's action. The Big 12 went 5-0 against non-conference opposition, but it was no breeze. Kansas was matched by Alabama Birmingham, touchdown for touchdown, field goal for field goal, missed field goal for missed field goal, until finally in the fourth overtime, With the Jayhawks chance to answer a UAB's touchdown and extra point, Harrison Hill makes an amazing catch over two defenders.
Harrison Hill leaps. He caught it. He got it. Touchdown.
Shunning the prospect of a fifth overtime, KU goes for two, and Michael Chandler pulls down the game winner in a thriller.
Is it caught? Chandler's got it. Chandler caught it. KU wins. KU wins.
It was a 318-yard day for Ricky Williams against Rice, running over defenders and with defenders. Great running backs like Williams learn to use all parts of their body for running. Two great stiff arms aid this touchdown run. That's not body paint. That's body paint. Colorado last week unveiled their new look with a touch of silver on the helmet. With young Ralphie Ford leading the way, here's some catches from last week that were good as gold. Chris Cole of Texas A&M goes up and over the North Texas defender for an Aggie touchdown. Later, he comes up with another great leaping grab. Iowa State's Damian Gross had a similar backpedaling catch for a TD, and another nice one of the diving variety. Texas Tech's Donnie Hart had perhaps the best catch of the season thus far, looking like Lynn Swan with a phenomenal concentration. Colorado's Darren Cheverini stretches out for this pass and a buff first down. Nothing terribly fancy about this hookup between K-State's Michael Bishop and Aaron Lockett. Just long. 98 yards for the Wildcat TD.
50, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown.
Back to the heart of Texas Tech. Donnie goes 68 yards with this catch and run.
He's going to take it the distance.
Also in the long-distance honor roll, Nebraska's D'Angelo Evans goes 60 yards, 50 easy ones, and 10 tough ones at the end. Last week's action was a big hit, but we've hit our time limit for this week's cut.
Let's send it back to Jim Knox. We'll see you again next Saturday.
Thanks a lot, Bill. Don't forget, you can see the Big 12 Showcase hosted by Bill Land each and every week. Check your local listings. Coming up, we will check matchups in the Big 12 set for later today.
At Ansura Chevrolet, we always outsell the competition. You won't find a better place to buy a car or truck. Volkswagen, quality, safety, and style. Thank Ansura for an unbeatable Ansura Volkswagen price. Ansura Volkswagen on Bandera Road. And when you buy from Ansura, you'll receive a $50 gift certificate to Tom's Ribs, where you can come on down for real Texas barbecue. Ansura Volkswagen, next to Ansura Chevrolet on Bandera Road, outside Loop 410, exit Leon Valley.
All too often, the media confronts you with scenes of children dying senselessly from malnutrition, from simple childhood diseases, from neglect born of poverty. Thousands die every day. You're told it. It overwhelms you, but it's not quite real.
Now picture yourself coming home one night to find a child like Senente Leguiroto on your doorstep. One of those hungry, nameless children you never expected to meet. What do? You feed her, give her clean clothes. You put your arms around her and hold her tight.
There are needy children on your doorstep. Help one of them by sponsoring a child through Christian Children's Fund for $21 a month. A child who, thanks to a good-hearted sponsor, will have hope for a better life.
Call for a photo of a child you can sponsor. A child like Amparo.
Thanks to Pat Johnson's loving concern, you can see that hope in Amparo's eyes. She lived with her brothers in a cold house filled with smoke from an unvented stove. The children were often ill. Today, Pat Johnson's compassion has provided Amparo's family with the materials to build a new vented stove, a sleeping area for the children, medicine to keep them well, but most important, an education is being provided for Amparo to help lead her family out of poverty.
Call for a photo of a child you can sponsor. A child like Jose.
Meet Jose, sponsored by Scott Blevins, a Florida technician.
Jose is just getting over pneumonia, which is usually fatal here. You see, where Jose lives, there's no clean water, no medicine, nothing but poverty. But with Scott's $21 a month, Christian Children's Fund is able to give Jose good food, clean water, warm clothes, and the penicillin that saved his life.
Call for a photo of a child you can sponsor.
There are needy children on your doorstep. Please, call now.
A good one going on in Lawrence, Kansas, as the Aggies lead the Kansas Jayhawks 14-7 at half. Well, a number of terrific matchups going on in the Big 12 today. Set for later today. Let's take a look at the menu. First up, 23rd ranked Missouri at home against Northwestern State. Then 15th ranked Colorado on the road against Oklahoma. In Lubbock tonight, Baylor against Texas Tech. Iowa State's on the road tonight against Texas. Ricky Williams looking for another big evening. And tonight in Kansas City, Nebraska collides against Oklahoma State. Number 2 team in the nation, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, going in, and they're trying to knock off Oklahoma State. Of course, the Cowboys looking for the upset. With more on this game, let's go on to Ron Thulin and Artie Chicatina.
Thank you very much, Jim Knox. We're at the world's largest barbecue, the American Royal Barbecue here in Kansas City. And as you can tell by Artie and my bibs, we're kind of getting into this barbecue thing. But when you look at this beef, it makes you think of the Nebraska linemen.
You know, and it's interesting because at the University of Nebraska, the offensive linemen, they grade pancakes, which is a knockdown of a defender. But they eat this stuff for a pregame meal. They do a wonderful job of making holes for their eye backs. As you can see, Corell Buckholter is untouched virtually in this 43-yard touchdown run. The one thing I love about these guys, though, they're all 6'2", 6'3". You never see a big 6'7", 6'8" offensive lineman in Nebraska. They're short, stubby guys that can really get after you, and they do a brilliant job of blocking for this run game at Nebraska.
Well, the Oklahoma State Cowboys are going to have their hands full. We've got their fans right here. By the way, Jim Knox, tell Dave Lapham I'm sending him the left side of the pit. Jim?
Hey, that's Big Dave's usual post-game meal. Stay with us. Drew and Dave will recap first half highlights between Texas A&M and Kansas.
Hey, girls. Man, I am thirsty. You some power, baby. Oh, pretty, please. Come on now. You're in there. Come on, run. Hey,
No self-control.
Come on now, Dr. Pepper. I don't want nothing else. Let's go, Dr. Pepper.
In a world where every second counts, a quick call can make a big difference.
Cordell, I think the safety will bite on the play action. Try.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
That's why now all calls under 30 seconds are free. Introducing Sprint Sense Anytime, where all calls are a dime a minute and calls under 30 seconds are on our dime. Call 1-800-913-9739. Because when you get Sprint Sense Anytime, all of your calls are just one unrestricted dime a minute.
They want to know when you're going to join the team. Make me an offer.
Anytime to anywhere.
Yeah, you coming to dinner Sunday?
We've got a game on Sunday, Pa.
That wasn't a question, son. I'll see you later.
Call now to sign up for Sprint Sense Anytime. Every call is just a dime a minute, and calls under 30 seconds are free. Call 1-800-913-9739 for Sprint Sense Anytime.
Thanks, Bob.
It's that time of the year. The new 99 models are arriving daily. Only at Ancira Chrysler Plymouth Jeep and Ancira Nissan on I-10 between Wurzbach and Huebner, where you'll find an unmatched selection of new and used cars, trucks, and minivans. And all at unbeatable Ancira prices. Ancira on I-10 has what you're looking for. Think Ancira this month and get a $50 gift certificate from Tom's Ribs, where you can come on down to real Texas barbecue. Open every Sunday. Ancira Chrysler Plymouth Jeep next to Ancira Nissan on I-10 between Wurzbach and Huebner.
The new Ingram Park Nissan Mazda says, yes, we can, to what you want as we clear out the 98s. Enjoy a truckload of savings on the 98 Nissan Frontier. Yes, we can, priced at $99.95. Or the sporty 98 Nissan Sentra, only $11,995. And we've got Moss savings on the 98 Mazdas, like the stylish 626 for just $13,995. Or the 98 Protege DX for an incredible $10,995. That's Ingram Park Nissan Mazda, your yes, we can dealer. Come see us at Loop 410 in Calabria.
Halftime from Memorial Stadium in Lawrence, Kansas. The Aggies leading the Jayhawks 14-7. And back upstairs with Dave Lapham, I'm Drew Goodman. And you look at some of the numbers in the first half, time of possession, field position, you think the game would be over and Texas A&M would be up by 3 or 4 touchdowns.
Texas A&M is possessing the football. They've got a 7-minute time of possession advantage. They've run 40 plays to Kansas's 26. Their average starting point possession-wise is at the 50-yard line. Kansas at their own 7. So Kansas' defense has had to defend a short field time after time after time, and they've really stepped up and played well. Let's take a look at what they've done. On the defensive side of the football, Kansas has swarmed to the ball, good penetration, reestablishing the line of scrimmage backwards, making the back make their first cut early. Quarterback out of pocket, nowhere to throw the football. They corral him with inside-out pursuit for a negligible gain. Once again, initial pressure, making quarterback step up in pocket, swarm to him. Really, Wagner has had, absolutely no chance at all to throw the football. Kansas has done a pretty good job of swarming to the ball against the run and the pass.
And McCown's also had a couple of passes dropped. Kansas trying to get their own stuff started on offense. We'll come back with the third quarter next from Lawrence.
Most companies that make canopies for our nation's jet fighters look to this oil company for a critical component to make them bulletproof. When it really counts, they seem to be the one to count on. With that in mind, what kind of gasoline do you think they'd make for your car? You'd be right. Citgo, when it counts.
Have you ever bought a new computer, then had a question about it, and then you asked your spouse and your kid, and it was 7 o'clock, and the computer store was closed, and the guy next door who knows everything about computers was on vacation? Why not get help 24 hours a day? Go to Dell. We've won PC Magazine's award for desktop reliability and service 3 years in a row. Right now, you can get a Dell Dimension computer powered by an Intel Pentium 2 processor at 350 megahertz. You'll get a 13.6 gig hard drive with enough storage to use neat stuff like digital cameras. Plus, you'll get a 17-inch monitor, a 40x variable CD-ROM for fast access. Altec Lansing speakers with subwoofer, and it comes preloaded with Microsoft Windows 98 with Home Essentials and Money 98 to do, oh boy, taxes. It's a good thing it only costs $18.99. Dell Dimension with an Intel Pentium 2 processor at 350 megahertz. Just $18.99. To order, go directly to the source. Dell, be direct.
In 1616, John Davies wrote, "Beauty's but skin deep." Too bad he never walked across KU's campus. A beautiful setting for some of the nation's top faculty and students. The University of Kansas, a beautiful place to learn.
Football is brought to you by Red Roof Inns, nice people and an honest value. By Citgo, depend on Citgo when it counts. And by First Plus Financial. At First Plus, you don't need equity, you just need a home. Danforth Chapel on the campus of the University of Kansas in Lawrence. Drew Goodman, Dave Lapham, Jim Knox, 14-7 as we get set for the third quarter. The Aggies leading the Jayhawks, and Texas A&M will get the football. A crowd of in excess of 35,000 gathered on an overcast, cool autumn afternoon. Dante Hall back deep, Garcia into the football, and Hall will have his chance from the 5. Out to the 27-yard line, and we take a look at our Citgo first half numbers.
There's the difference right there, or one of the big differences. A 33-yard hidden yards advantage in start point for every possession. Kansas has had to go the length of the field, A&M negotiating a short field, but it's only 14-7 because right here, neither offense getting on track.
And defense really took over in the second quarter. For both teams, 9 of the final 11 drives in that first half ended in a punt. Misdirection and a pretty good opening for Hall. He got about 7 or 8 yards. Patrick Brown finally locked him up, but a good gain on first down for Texas A&M.
Check out what happened here, the differential of the first 2 drives. 14 points out of them. The last 6 drives, it's been punt, punt, punt again. Tell you what, both punters are earning their scholarships today.
They really could have thrown the knockout punch in the first half.
Exactly. A couple of missed drop balls on third down hurt A&M big time.
Hall again. Dante Hall. He can go. A flag comes in. Touchdown Texas A&M, but hold everything. There's a flag down in midfield.
They have a hold on the edge that'll take it back. Little holding penalty. And that's another penalty self-destruct for A&M.
They had a touchdown called back last week in their win against North Texas, and that 64-yarder by Hall is erased. All he gets...
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the ball.
All he gets out of the deal is to be out of breath and a long walk back to the huddle.
R.C. Slocum a little frustrated. A&M gets it started well. It's the old power play. Fullback kicks out, gaping hole. There's the hold right here on the edge. The hold occurs, and Taylor's the guy that grabs, allowing the cutback lane. That was an obvious one. Hands outside the framework of the body. Little bear hug.
Again, the penalty walked off from the spot of the foul, so it's 1st and 10. McCown looking for the postman, and Cole is up there. Had his hands on it, he couldn't bring it in. Jamie Harris with pretty solid coverage.
Harris and Cole hooking up against each other once again. Cole's got great body, timing, mechanics. Nothing fancy here, just a flat post pattern. He gets inside position, goes airborne, gets his hands on the football. You got to catch that football. And if he catches that cleanly, I'm not sure that the contact by Harris is all that big a deal. But the ball pops out of Cole's hand at the peak of his jump.
2nd down and 10. Sir Parker's in the backfield. And he gets the football, and Dion Rayford has Parker. No gain on the play. The junior college transfer from Los Gatos, California, wrapped him up, number 41.
And one thing that we talked about as a key for Texas A&M was execution today. Don't worry about next week. Well, too many penalties, penalty negating a touchdown run, and too many drop passes. 2 key drops in third down in the first half, and a drop by Cole right there that was a very catchable football.
That's what R.C. Slocum talked about yesterday with us, execution. 3rd and a long 10, closer to 11. McCown throwing, Cole catches this one, he has a first down.
Pass is complete to number 80.
His 4th catch of the day, first down to the 44 of Kansas.
The next star of the A&M receiver corps is right there, Cole. A tremendous player. No, nothing fancy once again on the route. Just driving the defender down the football field, a little comeback route. Missed tackle. Extra yards after catch to the tune of about 5 yards because of the missed tackle by Kansas.
1st and 10, again A&M in Kansas territory. On a waggle, McCown dropped in the backfield. It's Nate Dwyer, the redshirt freshman. First sack of the game for Kansas.
There must have been a pass protection malfunction in the middle, because he came clean. Quickly came clean. As they slide the protection, a little line touch, a little twist like we demonstrated at the half. Little twist, Dwyer makes himself come clean because of the effort up front by his cohort, J.J. Johnson. So Dwyer, he grabs the offensive lineman, and Dwyer came clean. He gets all the credit.
But Dwyer snuck a look at your piece at halftime, huh?
Right.
It worked. 2nd and a bunch. Here's a screen. All alone for Spiller. I mean, he's got all kinds of room. Brought out of bounds at the 34-yard line, right where he needed to get for a first down. of 20.
Well, it's a tight end throwback screen. All the action of the play goes in one direction. All the action of the play is going to go to the right, and the tight end will leak out here for a throwback screen. The defense all goes to the right with the flow of the play, and the tight end leaks out late. Tight end screen, 2 linemen out in front. Boy, all kinds of green to take advantage of. Well executed, tremendous call, and very well executed that time by A&M.
Derek Spiller, a little bit gimpy today. He was a question mark whether he was going to be able to go. They have 2 good tight ends. Dan Campbell, 89, big strong guy, 6'5" and 255, and Spiller's around 255, as you see, has a first down at 6'3". He's more of the receiver.
Exactly. Campbell's like a third tackle. I mean, he knocks people off the line of scrimmage in the running game as well as linebackers or defensive ends. And Spiller is the guy that's got a little more niftiness, good catch of the football, and his big forte is doing something after the catch, yards after catch.
That was his 6th catch of the year and his longest gain of the year. Dante Hall. And Coleman got in the backfield and made the tackle. Dave, you often talk about backs who have the jet feet, that you want to make sure you get a lot of people around them so they don't have room to make people miss.
Exactly, and that's what they did that time. Hall checking out of the game with a little bit of a shoulder problem, it looks like, Drew, but the thing they made Hall do right here, Drew, is bounced it. The point of attack isn't there. So they make him turn his shoulder pads to the sideline. He's running east and west, and he's bouncing it to the boundary, and that's what they want to have happen instead of north and south.
Eric Bernard is in at tailback. McCown sets and fires, and another drop pass. Spiller had it and lost it. J.J. Johnson, the linebacker there in coverage, and it's 3rd and 11.
It's a case, it sounds simple, but you catch the football with your hands. A&M's not doing a very good job of that. Now they're starting to almost think about relying on their bodies to catch the football. Let it get into your body too closely. And that time it ate them up. Get your hands extended out in front and catch the football. Don't let it come into your body and short arm it and try to get it. Once it hits your shoulder pads, it's liable to go anywhere.
A&M, 3rd and 11. They're 3 of 9 on 3rd down today. They need the 24. McCown, very close. First down to Cole, is go-to receiver. And where they spot to be probably a couple of feet shy.
You got to think they might go for it here. They already went for it earlier, 4th and 11 and converted. They were 6 for 6 on 4th down coming in. 4th and very short. They had their first miss on 4th down today. 6 coming in, 7 for 8 on the season.
They don't need much. Toombs the fullback, Hall the tailback. McCown takes it himself. And that's about, what, 2,000-3,000 pounds of folks getting up down there?
I'm telling you, if they had gone to the barbecue downtown, there would have been enough people. Take a look at what happens up front. Low man wins, get underneath the pads and knock people backwards. Pretty good surge off the line of scrimmage by the A&M Hogs between the hash marks right there. Done well.
Cameron Spikes, 310 pounds. The left guard, Seth McKinney getting it done the center. Seemed like McCown had more time to throw it.
It definitely looked like it. I think Kansas is doing a pretty good job of moving up front now. You don't see a whole lot of straight rushes. Once again, a little bit of a cross. Rayford comes clean. A&M does not do a good job at all picking it up. It ends up in the backfield level, and you've got a defensive end mismatch against Hall at running back. No go.
A loss of 11. McCown wants to screen. Can't catch it. And now a flag.
It might have hit the lineman first. that it hit the lineman in the back before Hall could get to it. He had a big offensive lineman that was in his way. Hall was trying to catch the football, and the lineman was trying to make a block, and I'm not sure if it hit the lineman first. It might have been a little interference there.
Well, he's certainly a bigger target than Dante Hall.
The big lineman out in front trying to get something done is Andy Vincent.
Illegal touching on the offense. The ball hit and here. And 5 yards, the senior spot. And it seems to this year's school that it's not a loss of down.
It's not a loss of down, but they do lose the yards. But Vincent, trying to get out in front in the screen, is a little bit slow to get out there. And Hall is trying to fight through him to make a play on the football. Hits Vincent in the back. Hall can catch it. That's not a good relationship in terms of timing and distance between running back and lineman in the screen pass.
Right now, the Aggies are going the wrong direction. It's 2nd down and 26.
It's amazing. Kansas, they've done a lot of the bend but don't break today because of the short field, but A&M has helped them immeasurably with key penalties at wrong times for them.
And you saw Terry Allen in the picture a moment ago, and Kansas is pretty salty on defense, and they were last year when they went 5-6. When their offense gets on the same page and learns Terry Allen's offense, this is going to be a pretty formidable team.
Yeah, I agree with that. And the discussion that's going on between Coach Allen and the officials, he mentioned it's not a loss of down due to the new rule change. So Terry Allen is saying, might as well decline it and at least have him lose the down.
Yeah, take the play.
So he's going to decline the penalty and make him burn it down anyway. A lot of confusion. It's a zebra convention going on down there right now.
And I think even if it's time-consuming, all anybody wants at home is for them to get it right.
For illegal touching has declined. Therefore, it's throw down on the previous spot.
So Terry Allen, forget the 5 yards, decline the penalty. I want the down off the chain gang. I want that bad boy burned up. Good coaching job right there.
Third down and 21. R.C. Slocum now getting the explanation from Tom Allers. And until Tom gets in the backfield, we're not going to play football.
Confusion reigns supreme still. So now both officials, or the officials have informed both head coaches appropriately, and back to play we go.
The Aggies need the 35. Zone blitz from Kansas. McCown in trouble again. Dropped back at the 40. J.J. Johnson with the sack.
J.J. Johnson said to McCown, nowhere to run to, baby, nowhere to hide. As he broke the contain, he was caught inside out by Johnson's speed. Initially, pretty good blitz pickup. Kansas brings 4. They drop the big nose tackle out of there. They bring a linebacker and drop a nose tackle out in coverage. Nowhere to throw the football. Ultimately, it breaks down. J.J. Johnson showing good inside-out speed.
Leckler, who's been marvelous today. Pressure coming. Oh! And hit Childs in the back. Free football. That Wynn's got it. Well, absolutely. He's everywhere. First and goal at the 5 for Texas A&M.
I think it's A&M ball where it hit Henry Childs. Henry Childs is the one who was trying to block the kill man out of bounds, and the ball hit him right in the helmet. As Childs is the kill man, he's allowed to chuck him, which he does, but then the ball comes down right on the back of the helmet.
You talk about a bad break.
Man. And who's there? Dat Wynn, Mr. Awareness.
You know what? It's like a laser. The football and number 9. He's been in the end zone 4 times in his career. Think about that. He's a linebacker.
He returned a kickoff his freshman year. Picked one up off the ground. It must have been an onside kick and took it for a touchdown.
Yeah, one of those ones where it comes hot, stuck to him, everybody ran past him, he went the other direction.
Exactly. Henry Childs, the ball hits him in the helmet, and they're saying it's a dead ball right there. A&M's football at that point.
Yeah, you can't advance it.
Right.
So it'll be first down inside the 14-yard line. You know, you got a feel for the Kansas defense. They have played their tails off today.
And how about that win? In a 14-7 football game, he had an interception that gave A&M a 12-yard field for a touchdown the first possession, and now he recovers the football at the 14-yard line for his offensive football team.
Ball on the ground. Not much there. 59, the nose tackle, John Williams, who's, I'm sure, a lot more comfortable in that situation than he was swimming around in the secondary a moment ago.
Exactly. Let's take a look at the bread and butter play for Texas A&M. This is called the power. The right guard pulls. Fullback kicks out. Right guard, if he sees the numbers, he bounces it. Turns it up inside. Pretty good defense right there by Kansas.
Pickup of a yard. Sweep to Hall. Dante coming back. First down inside the 1-yard line. That was a wonderful run.
Dante Hall showed patience right there. He choked it down. Got an injured Kansas player at about the 6-yard line. Hasn't worked his way up on his feet yet, but watch the patience by Hall. He stretches it to the outside, turns it back up inside. Nice sustaining of blocks going on, and then gets his eyes back. Good field vision and good patience to cut it back inside. Hall having confidence in his offensive lineman. That's the big tight end Campbell, sustaining the block exceptionally well, and then gets his shoulder pads squared up late and takes it right toward the end zone with some authority.
Looks like it could be Jamie Harris down on the field.
Can't lose him.
No, Hall with 120 yards and a couple of touchdowns today. And it looks like Jamie's okay. Senior corner from down the road in Olathe.
Boy, I've never seen a field position disparity this large in a football game.
And yet the disparity on the scoreboard is just a touchdown.
Exactly.
For now. A&M, in terms of time of possession, listen to this, folks. They've had it 25 minutes and 8 seconds. Kansas just 11 minutes and 25 seconds. First and goal inside the 1. He didn't get there. Steve Bratton sold his body.
He got underneath and sliced the legs right out from Hall. Hall couldn't even get planted to try to go up and over. Bratton took his legs right out from under him. It starts up front. You have to get a little bit of a push up front. Bratton penetrates over the top before Hall can get over the top. That's Mr. Kamikaze right there. That's the true linebacker.
Red zone this year for Texas A&M. Second and goal. Hall, nowhere. He lost a couple. Tim Bowers, 16, shot the gap.
And Bratton again. Bratton is having an individual goal line stand here. I tell you, he's probably one of those guys that just starts to slobber at the mouth in the goal line situation, and I'm just going to knock you around. You talk about a guy selling out his body. Job by Kansas on the edge. Bratton just absolutely detonates him in the middle of his body, and a nice stick by Bowers underneath.
Ball's now outside the 3 on third down.
Whoa. No shot. Bratton. Primary tackler is Bratton again. 3 straight involvements by a linebacker that's a wild man. Is this Dick Butkus or is this Bratton? And he's loving it. What a defensive stand. Once again, it starts up front with the offensive line. Bratton separates from the block, pursues down the line of scrimmage, and he, involved with a couple of others, the play.
So a field goal attempt for Russell Bynum. And he got it. 17-7, but a moral victory for Steve Bratton and the Kansas defense. He is a throwback.
Sammo, he can turn anything into a lethal weapon. Lewis, a streetwise kickboxer. Dana, her looks can kill, but her roundhouse kick can knock you out. Together, they're the LAPD's new dream team. Martial Law, a new action series to CBS tonight.
Another Ross?
Hi.
Ew. Same old Chandler.
Would you sleep with somebody to get a great job?
Who would I have to sleep with?
Me?
Why would I have to sleep with you?
It's my game. You want the job or not?
Next Friends.
Tonight at 10:35 here on Ken's 5.
Ingram Park Chrysler Plymouth Jeep says, yes, we can. To the new 99s at low, yes, we can prices. Like the innovative Plymouth Voyager, just $15,995. Or the critically acclaimed Chrysler 300M. Ingram Park priced at only $388 a month. Want great value on a new 98? Check out the 98 Jeep Cherokee for only $209 a month. Or the 98 Neon for just $149 a month. That's Ingram Park Chrysler Plymouth Jeep, where we say, yes, we can. To the best deals and service anywhere in Texas. Come see us at Loop 410 in Culebra.
Honey, it's time.
Look at the car.
Oh! Uh-oh. Better get Mako.
To give your car a rebirth, get Mako's Ambassador Paint for $189.95.
Your ticket to the playoffs is Ken's Radio AM 1160.
Ken's Radio AM 1160, San Antonio's news and Astros station.
Dan Cook, only on Ken's 5 Eyewitness News.
And thanks to the KU bookstores for your support of Kansas football.
17-7, Texas A&M leading Kansas. Dat wins recovery of a ball on a punt that hit a Kansas player, set up the field goal. But Steve Bratton made 3 goal line hits inside the 1-yard line to keep Texas A&M out of the end zone. 2 terrific linebackers. Them in a moment. This is a pooch kick. They better get on it. Winbush. Nowhere to go. Down to the 13-yard line. And we visit with Jim Knox. Jim, what do you have?
Okay, Drew. Now, Steve Bratton and Dat Wynn, they're 2 good linebackers out here, but they do some outstanding things off the field. They're on the Good Works team. This is by the Coaches Association. What they do off the field is they help out youngsters in the community. Bratton's a big brother here in the Lawrence Elementary School. He helps out a youngster 2 days out of the week, and Dat Wynn does a lot in College Station. So not only 2 good football players, but 2 outstanding guys off the field.
You got that right. And the Good Works team is only 11 guys nationally. Here's Winbush on a burst to the 20-yard line before Cody picks him up and throws him down. So 2 of the 11, 2 linebackers in this football game.
Well, Dat Wynn this time, they blitzed, and this is a run blitz. Watch Dat Wynn hit it, and they pick it up, and they run a draw play, and Winbush cuts it back exactly where Dat Wynn vacated. So sometimes you make a defensive call that backfires a little bit.
Winbush on 2nd and 3. Dat Wynn grabbed him, and then he was finished off by Rocky Bernard, number 95. And it'll be 3rd down and 3.
Dat Wynn is a guy that scrapes over the top and reacts to plays as well as any linebacker in football, and he's a downhill player. Now watch the strength that Dat Wynn has. He scrapes over the top, left arm, grabs his shoulder pad, and takes him to the turf almost. Winbush showing great balance, but tremendous strength. I'll tell you, that's a big surprise in a small package there, Dat Wynn.
Win on a blitz. Winbush first down. Warwick Holdman made the tackle, but a first down out to the 28-yard line.
And once again, when A&M blitzes, if you can get past the line of scrimmage and your linebackers are blitzing over past the line of scrimmage, you have an opportunity for a big play. And on 2 consecutive Dat Wynn blitzes, Kansas has made them pay by hitting the spot that the linebacker would be scraping over the top to make the tackle.
Kansas again in poor field position. We said that all day. Wegner in trouble. And he's going to lose a couple. That's a sack. Second of the day. And it is Bernard, and also number 9, always around the guy with the football. It's,
I tell you,
amazing.
If you watch that win, he takes you to every play. Perfect linebacker, hitting position, comes on the blitz. Winbush knocks him to the ground, gets up in a heartbeat, and gets involved in the tackle. The thing about that win, relentless. He doesn't know the definition of the word quit or give up on a play.
More than 400 tackles in his career, one of 4 Aggies all time with that kind of number. And the pass to Childs is incomplete. 3rd down and 11.
That win would be the first Texas A&M Aggie to lead a defensive football team in tackles 4 consecutive years. That would be a phenomenal accomplishment.
And think about this. In the last decade, the last 10 years, they've had 9 linebackers drafted. You can talk about Penn State being linebacker U. The University of Colorado has turned out a number of linebackers. So has Texas A&M.
Great athletes.
And this guy may be the best of all of them. Wegner, complete. Harrison Hill. First down of the 46-yard line.
Nice route run by Hill. Over the linebacker level in front of the corner. Found a little bit of a soft spot in the zone. A&M just comes with a 4-man rush. They're twisting and stunning up front. Picked up well by Kansas. Nice effort, nice throw. Very accurate. Found the hole, found the little seam in the zone. Kansas moves the chains.
He had 8 of those 14 catches last week. 2 for touchdowns in overtime against UAB. Winbush on a cutback. Oh, still going. Flag comes in. That was an equal opportunity run. Everybody on the Texas A&M defense had a chance to tackle him.
Well, Winbush, first effort of Bradley, and then he got himself staggered and got north and south. See if we have a face mask or a holding. It is a face mask. Winbush was stunned. He was staggered by Bradley. He must have reached up into his face mask, but couldn't bring him down. Winbush takes it to the outside, bounces it. Little cutback, nothing happened at the point of attack, cuts it back. Bradley is the one that tries to make the hit. Dat Wind's the one that grabbed the face mask. Nice job by Winbush to keep his balance.
So David Winbush with an exciting 5-yard run. And after the penalty, it'll be 2nd and 1. Ball at the 44-yard line of the Aggies. This is Kansas's best movement offensively in a while. Bowles first down for the
on this football play for Bowles was Norris at the fullback position. Norris, number 33, seals the backside. And once he seals the backside, it gives Bowles an opportunity for a cutback lane because the offensive line washed everything away.
Norris, as you like to say, Dave, is an offensive guard playing in the backfield. Here's another cutback, but this time Bowles is wrapped up by 46 Cornelius Anthony.
Kansas, I think, happy with the way they're running the football so far in this drive. I think they thought they had to throw the ball more against A&M than they have, but really the biggest Achilles heel that this Kansas football team has faced all day, and we've talked about it a few times, is lack of field position.
2nd down and 13. Quick throw. Wagner has it away. It is complete to Chandler, who paid for it. I think both players paid for it. 36 coming up and making the hit for Texas A&M was Ronald Patton.
And Webster, I think, involved in the play. Chandler made the reception. The first tackle was missed, and then Webster put a big hit. Chandler he's probably got a long distance phone call ringing between his ears right now, and the operator's not picking up on the other end.
come here on a glorious quest to search for that which can be found nowhere else. Where, in the trenches where mighty men clash, amidst the echoes of glories past, high atop Olympus? No, this is our quest. This is what football is all about. Now all I gotta do is find that nacho guy.
When you think about your bank, you probably don't think relationship. I mean, you can't exactly cuddle up with your checkbook at night. But you can get a little special treatment with this. Advantage checking from Nations Bank. It actually rewards you with better rates on loans and CDs, free checks. It doesn't nickel and dime you with fees. Okay, it's not exactly like marriage. But then again, what is?
That was a major league head-on collision. Michael Chandler on the left, the reception. Jason Webster delivering the blow.
I'll tell you, you want to grow up and be a football player? Cody misses Chandler. Webster, helmet to helmet. I mean, cocoa butt shot. Both of those players have an eccentric headache right now.
26-yard line is what Kansas needs on 3rd and 6. And this is Wagner. Still going. 14-yard line, 1st and 10 Jayhawks.
First down, Kansas.
That was an interesting play.
Very interesting. Little quarterback counter. Back takes off. Little misdirection. The quarterback keeps the football. Lineman pulling in front of him. A little skip pull. And Wagner's off to the races. Excellent execution. A little cross-buck action in the backfield to hold the linebackers. And off to the races Wagner went.
And the junior's pretty game. He didn't go out of bounds. He turned it back upfield.
It's a great call on 3rd down. Excellent call by Kansas.
And an official timeout. They're waiting for the chain crew to catch up. Here we go. 1st and 10, ball at the 14-yard line. 17-7 Aggies. Winbush. He got 4 yards to the 10. That win around the football again. And let's get an injury update from Jim Knox. Jim?
All right, Drew, the word from the bench, Michael Chandler has a mild concussion. It's a mild concussion. They're not for sure whether he will return today or not, so we'll keep our eyes on that.
That's one of those injuries, mild concussion if it happened to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. I hate being concussed.
Is that a word?
I don't know.
Toward the end zone, Gassaway, touchdown. The true freshman, Byron Gassaway.
Number 2, Brian Gassaway.
Little fade to Gassaway, gotta love it. He's 6'4", matched up size-wise against 5'9", Jay Brooks. You have 6'4" against 5'9". You run the fade to the corner of the end zone. You let the 6'4" go up and get the football over 5'9", and that's exactly what he did.
The extra point could bring Kansas within a field goal. Joe Garcia. 17-14. Gassaway, the true freshman from Zach Wagner. Whole new ball game in Lawrence.
Never felt like this until I kissed you, I kissed you, I kissed you, I kissed you. How did I exist until I kissed you, I kissed you, I kissed you. Never had you on my
When you find the one that's unlike any other, that's when it's love. That's when it's Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper, this is the taste
Chairways, Northwest, KLM, United. All of these, in fact, most of the world's major airlines, domestic and international, rely on this oil company for fuel. When it really counts, they seem to be the one to count on. With that in mind, what kind of gasoline do you think they make for your car? You'd be right. Citgo, when it counts.
Have you outgrown your current position or find yourself unemployed? Then it's time to look in the National Business Employment Weekly. You'll find top jobs with top companies and advice on landing them.
Order 6 issues of the National Business Employment Weekly now for only $19, a special introductory offer. Look in the National Business Employment Weekly. You'll never know what you'll find.
To subscribe, call 800-556-9100. That's 800-556-9100.
Texas A&M 17, Kansas 14. An impressive 87-yard drive, and Byron Gassaway, one of the top recruits for the Jayhawks this year, the 6'4" true freshman, went up and caught the 13-yard fade. Dante Hall 2 yards deep. To the 32-yard line.
Well, let's take a look at Gassaway. And as we mentioned, tremendous size mismatch over Brooks. Wagner realizes that. They isolate him in one-on-one. Fade pattern to the corner. 6'4", going up over 5'9". First of all, he beat him off the line of scrimmage. Brooks never found the football, never got his head turned, because Wagner really could have taken advantage of Gassaway's size more than he did. Gassaway made a one-handed catch and then secured that thing. That's a great play on his end.
His second career touchdown. Sir Parker lowers his shoulder and gets 4. Deion Rayford will get credit for the tackle, and that will be the final snap of the third quarter. Outstanding football game in Lawrence. 17-14 Aggies.
Now when you refinance at First Plus, you can get more. Introducing the Ultimate 125, the loan that lets you refinance up to 125% of the value of your home, no equity required. Now you can refinance, consolidate bills, and get extra cash, all in one loan with one lower monthly payment. Don't just refinance, get the loan that gives you more. The new Ultimate 125, only at First Plus. Call 1-800-510-PLUS.
Have you ever bought a new computer, then had a question about it, and then you asked your spouse and your kid, and it was 7 o'clock, and the computer store was closed, and the guy next door who knows everything about computers was on vacation? Why not get help 24 hours a day? Go to Dell. We've won PC Magazine's award for desktop reliability and service 3 years in a row. Right now, you can get a Dell Dimension computer powered by an Intel Pentium 2 processor at 350 megahertz. You'll get a 13.6 gig hard drive with enough storage to use neat stuff like digital cameras. Plus, you'll get a 17-inch monitor, a 40x variable CD-ROM for fast access. Altec Lansing speakers with subwoofer, and it comes preloaded with Microsoft Windows 98 with Home Essentials and Money 98 to do, oh boy, taxes. It's a good thing it only costs $18.99. Dell Dimension with an Intel Pentium 2 processor at 350 megahertz. Just $18.99. To order, go directly to the source. Dell, be direct.
There's a lot of things that set A&M apart from other universities. The quality of education that you get at Texas A&M. It has great resources, the traditions of A&M. The network that's out there of Aggies is just, it's not only just a degree that I got from A&M. There's a great deal of responsibility that goes along with that. Responsibility to maintain the integrity and the high moral standards that an Aggie is supposed to have.
R.C. Slocum's team, number 18 in the country, trying to improve to 4-1. They have Nebraska next week, but right now they have their hands full with the Jayhawks, who have not beat a ranked team in their last 7 tries. Dante Hall slithers across the 40 to the 41, about a yard short of a first down.
Let's take a look at the last scoring drive. Wagner, a little play to Bowles. for Winbush. He's off to the perimeter, a little quarterback counter from the shotgun formation. Then he says, well, I'm going to throw it now. I'm going to go to my true freshman. 6'4" takes advantage of that height. Gas away.
3rd and 1. Hall, not even close. He lost 2.
That was a big key for Kansas in this football game. 3rd and 2 or less wins 70% of the time. I don't know if Bratton was involved in that one, but Bratton's my man. There was a surge up front. The goal line stand that Kansas had in the last A&M to limit to a field goal was huge. Now they step up in 3rd and short and make a heck of a defensive penetration. And J.J. Johnson with the initial hit after his defensive lineman reestablished the line of scrimmage backwards.
Leckler to punt. Henry Childs at his own 20. He turns it over. Childs, fair catch at the 16-yard line. 13:42 to go in the 4th quarter. A field goal separating Kansas and Texas A&M.
Happy birthday.
Oh, good. Another apple. Where's Danny?
Oh, you get down by the way I use my walk. I'm a woman's man. No time to talk. Staying alive. Staying alive. Staying alive.
Thank you.
This is the taste.
When you think about your bank, you probably don't think relationship. I mean, you can't exactly cuddle up with your checkbook at night. But you can get a little special treatment with this. Advantage checking from Nations Bank. It actually rewards you with better rates on loans and CDs, free checks. It doesn't nickel and dime you with fees. Okay, it's not exactly like marriage. But then again, what is?
In 1616, John Davies wrote, "Beauty's but skin deep." Too bad he never walked across KU's campus. A beautiful setting for some of the nation's top faculty and students. The University of Kansas, a beautiful place to learn.
Plenty more smiles in the stands of Memorial Stadium in Lawrence. The Jayhawks with the football at their own 16. They're within 3. Well, the passing this week of Doak Walker really saddened everybody, not only in college football, but in the entire sports world. The former SMU 3-time All-American, the Heisman Trophy winner, and a wonderful, wonderful person passed this week at the age of 71. David Winbush gets about 4 yards. R.C. Slocum got to know Doak Walker over the years. We talked to him about it yesterday.
What a wonderful guy. Just a happy, unassuming kind of, he was really just a classy, easy person to get to know. You felt like you'd known him for a long time, but really a warm person and a terrible, tragic loss for the sports world.
Yeah, for the entire sports world, that's right. Doak Walker affected many lives, not just on a football field, but off the field as well.
2nd down and 6. Wagner throws it in the flat, and Moran Norris couldn't hold on. One other note on the late Doak Walker. He was a 3-time All-American at SMU. Was in the post-World War II years, and this country needed heroes at that point in time, and Walker was one.
He sure was. He won the Heisman Trophy his junior year. His sophomore and senior years finished in the top 4 voting as well. Just an incredibly gifted athlete, but more than that, as good an athlete, even better, a person.
Good news on the field. Michael Chandler, who got dinged earlier, is back on. 3rd and 7. Wagner's got a man. Childs, 47-yard line. Brought down by Brandon Jennings. That was a great delivery.
It sure was, and Childs did a good job of realizing that Jennings was about to detonate. Actually, that was Toombs, I believe, out of the backfield. And then it throws the football and realizes the detonation is about to occur and ducks underneath it. Brandon Jennings right before the big hit. Excuse me, that was Childs. I got to get on the right roster, don't I, Drew?
Yeah, pick one. Wagner in trouble. Gets away. To the 49-yard line. He broke the grasp of Dat Wynn.
Kansas reacting to the defense's performance out there this afternoon. Offensively, now starting to make some plays. Little play action fake to freeze the defense. Wagner out in the perimeter, gets out of the grasp of Dat Wynn, and he realizes if somebody was on my backside, I better tuck it and go.
He got 5 yards. Here's a delay, and that ends abruptly. Cornelius Anthony says hello to David Winbush.
Cornelius Anthony, the tackler.
Winbush was ambushed that time. Nowhere to go. Pretty good run defense as a unit, as a defensive team by the Aggies right there. Now you find yourself in 3rd and makeable, although it's on the outer edges of makeable. And late substitution of personnel by A&M.
Aggies trying to get 3 players on the field, and they're going to have to burn a timeout. And we'll step aside as well. 11:28 to go in the 4th. 17-14 Aggies.
It is a place where power isn't flaunted, but instead quietly asserted. Because sometimes a whisper can say all the right things. Park Avenue by Buick, the power of...
Do you have trouble driving in the rain? Is the glare unbearable at night? That's why STP created Vision Blade glass treatment. Vision Blade forms an invisible barrier that repels water and virtually eliminates glare. It applies in minutes and it lasts for 6 months. This muddy water sticks to the glass on the untreated side, but with Vision Blade, the dirt and grime sheets away, and your view remains clear. And now Vision Blade is available in 2 sizes to meet all drivers' needs. See what you've been missing with Vision Blade.
Have you outgrown your current position or find yourself unemployed? Then it's time to look in the National Business Employment Weekly. You'll find top jobs with top companies and advice on landing them.
Order 6 issues of the National Business Employment Weekly now for only $19, a special introductory offer. Look in the National Business Employment Weekly. You'll never know what you'll find.
To subscribe, call 800-556-9100. That's 800-556-9100.
Big 12 fans, how'd you like to win a trip to the Big 12 football championship game in St. Louis? Here's the way. Our Nations Bank Salute to Excellence question. This week's question, who holds the single-season passing yardage record for Kansas? And if you know the answer, visit the Nations Bank website at nationsbank.com/sports. All correct entries will be entered into a drawing for a trip to see the Big 12 championship. Participants must be 18 or older. 3rd and 5 for Kansas, shy of midfield. Hill's out there. Oh, 23-yard line. He beat Jay Brooks.
Great throw, great catch. Wagner threw the football outside. The only person that could make a play on that football was Hill. Hill ran a great route and had Brooks beaten, and Wagner finished it by giving him a football that only he could corral. It all started up front. Great execution, vision unimpeded, throw to the outside shoulder. Great play in every phase.
Terrific catch. He made it look easy. Winbush, nowhere to go. Jay Brooks, his buddy from Killeen, Texas, made the tackle. That's a loss of a yard.
Cornelius Anthony with tremendous penetration. Offensive lineman pulled, was going to pull around for Anthony. He shot the gap inside. The offensive lineman tried to reroute himself back inside, but too late. Anthony had already gotten himself into the backfield.
Momentum has definitely changed in this football game, and the Kansas defense kept the Jayhawks in the game. Delay, Winbush, not much doing. Warwick Holdman.
Well, at this point in the football game, Drew, the field position is still a huge story. Kansas average starting point in their drives their own 16-yard line. A&M midfield. And the Kansas defense, time after time, repelling A&M on a short field. It's like a heavyweight fighter. They took blow after blow, but never got knocked out. They kept getting up.
And you also wonder about Kansas and the fatigue factor. They played 4 overtimes last week.
That's true. They played about 100 snaps counting the overtime.
3rd and 11. They need the 14-yard line. Wagner stop and go. Flag comes in.
Webster held big time.
Tremaine Fulton was held up by Jason Webster.
He was beaten on the double move and said, I'm not going to give up a touchdown. I'm just going to reach out and touch someone.
Holding Texas A&M.
Holding on the defense. 10 yards, automatic first down.
The big key right there is not only the yardage, but it's an automatic first down on 3rd and long. The ball is airborne. The hold, you can just see the tail end of the hold. Webster is up around the shoulder, and he lets go and puts his hands up in the air, hoping not to get caught. Too late, the hand was in the cookie jar firmly, and Fulton made sure the officials saw what he felt.
Checking in on offense, Byron Gassaway. He's 6'4", and he will flank out wide to the top of your screen. Ball at the 15. Winbush goes inside, now outside. Oh, what a move to the 4-yard line. You talk about doing it on your own.
Well, they ran the isolation. Norris at fullback ended up on Dat Wynn when he let him inside. 33 in the blue on 9 in the white. Stalemate. But nobody can separate from the block and make a tackle. Winbush bounces off of it like a human pinball and takes it to the outside before Cody finalizes.
Winbush. Fancy move. He almost got in.
Boy, he made Dat Wynn miss in the backfield. Dat Wynn was there, and Winbush, like a slalom skier, made a huge cut horizontally.
He could make you miss in a phone booth.
Amazing. He lowers the shoulder pads and comes, within inches of scoring. That you can't get any closer than that.
2nd and goal.
Now, what you had to do, when the knee hit the ground, you take an imaginary line right from the football to the turf. That's why it's short of the goal line. Keep it close until the 4th quarter, then see if we can finish. Kansas showing signs of finishing.
Their first lead of the afternoon. A whole lot of rock chalk Jayhawk happening in the stands.
I'll tell you what, they learned a lesson how to finish on the road last week against UAB, and the lesson is carrying over.
Garcia. 21-17. Kansas has taken the lead against favored Texas A&M.
Find out why primetime star Jimmy Smits and First Lady Hillary Clinton are teaming up when Mr. Smits goes to Washington on Hard Copy.
Saturday at 6:30 on Ken's 5.
Another Ross?
Hi.
Ew. Same old Chandler.
Would you sleep with somebody to get a great job? Who would I have to sleep with? Me? Why would I have to sleep with you? It's my game. You want the job or not?
Next Friends.
Tonight at 10:35 here on Ken's 5.
Cooler weather is coming, and now is the time to enjoy the scenic Paseo del Rio at the Kangaroo Court restaurant. Charbroiled steaks and chicken and delicious seafood are served indoors or on the patio with live music after 5 p.m. Party facilities are now available with a 2-hour free parking at the Riverbend parking garage for our dining patrons. The Kangaroo Court Restaurant, a 30-year family-owned, Riverwalk tradition.
I grew up helping my dad sell produce. I learned a lot from him. Work hard, he'd say, and respect others. Give customers their money's worth and always a little something extra. A pilon, he used to call it.
Thanks for your business. The response to our pilon book with every new car and truck purchase has been great. You get extra values on every page, along with the best prices, service, and selection at Domingo Vara Chevrolet Gio.
Aprendiste bien, hijo.
The little man can. David Winbush, 5'7", 175 pounds, gets in the end zone, and KU leads A&M 21-17. He's a guy that was recruited by R.C. Slocum at Texas A&M, but he committed early to the Jayhawks. Dante Hall from the 10.
Let's take a look at Winbush. Like Drew said, 5'7", 175, but he ran like he was about 220 on this play. Nice surge up front by the offensive line. Enough of a lead block by the fullback Norris. Into the end zone goes Winbush, and then to the sideline. Everybody's happy, and rightfully so.
Now the Aggies need to get jump-started on offense with 8:44 to go. McCown's been the quarterback throughout. No Brandon Stewart today. He's got a man open to the 40-yard line, Leroy Hodge. Good start for the Texas Aggies on the drive.
And once again, intentionally rolling out of pocket. Kansas coming with pressure up the middle, trying to get in the face of the quarterback. The best thing to do is to move him, let him throw on the run. And a quarterback, a right-handed quarterback, can throw easily on the run as he moves to his right. That's exactly what McCown did.
Got close. McCown will run. First down. Give him 12. Flip side of the 50 to the 47-yard line of Kansas.
Well, Dante Hall has run the ball for well over 100 yards, but you have to block as well. And he's blocking against a linebacker that's crazed and ready to play. And Hall does a good job. Take a look at Hall right here. When Bratton blitzes, watch what Hall does. Steps up, takes his legs right out from under him, giving McCown a chance to crease the defense.
Dante Hall runs in at John Williams, and the 300-pounder brings the 190-pound Hall down after a minimal gain.
Drew, when you think about it, Texas A&M, all the field position they've had, the last touchdown they scored was at the 8-minute and 40-second mark of the first quarter. They've had opportunity after opportunity, but the Kansas Jayhawk defense has risen to the occasion multiple times.
2nd and 8. McCown, Oliver, 35-yard line, another first down. First catch of the day for Al Oliver's son, the former baseball great. It's Aaron Oliver, the senior.
And Aaron Oliver had knee surgery April 7th, and he played in the opener August 31st against Florida State. He had a new type of surgery where they took the patella tendon from the healthy knee to reconstruct the bad knee. Traumatized both knees, but neither one that badly, and responded quicker.
They say he's 2 months ahead of schedule. Option, McCown to the 26-yard line. He almost got the first down, and he made sure that he wrapped up the football.
Yeah, at this stage of the game, the one thing you don't want to do is turn the football over. It's been pretty error-free in terms of turnover. McCown makes the decision and gets his shoulder pad squared up, 2 hands on the ball, because Bratton, our man, is trying to rip it out of there. And Bratton didn't want to be denied, but he was.
2nd and short. McCown takes it himself.
Boy, there's some shoulder pads thumping out there right now. This is college football at its finest. Michael Allen has delivered two tremendous hits to McCown at the end of consecutive running plays. Allen is a headhunter out there.
This is the Big 12 opener for Texas A&M. Kansas is 0-2 in conference play. They lost early to Oklahoma State and Missouri. Movement. Dan Campbell. He went on 1. The snap count was 2. Or something like that.
Exactly, and that's the kind of brain cramp you can't afford at this juncture.
Good ball. Prior to the snap, a false start on the offense.
Even though he's the tight end, if he shifted backwards at the right-hand side of the screen, he lurches forward to show the start of a play. You can't do that. Plus, there were 2 men in motion at the same time. Spiller, the move man, the H-back, was motioning. You can't have 2 tight ends moving at the same time before the snap of the ball.
1st and 15.
Dante Hall.
He got 13.
Michael Allen tackles him.
Boy, 1st and 15, run the football. That's keeping you on your heels a little bit. Kansas, I'm sure, had to assume that A&M might play action pass. Boy, they absolutely crossed him up and decided to just crease him off the left tackle, and did it well. Nice surge by A&M's offensive line. Got off the line of scrimmage to sustain the blocks. Campbell making up for his offside penalty by crushing people on the edge.
2nd and 3. Hall again. He will not have the first down. Dion Johnson, who missed the last couple of weeks at a defensive end with a shoulder injury, grabbed him, and it'll be 3rd down and about 2 yards for Texas A&M. By the way, Dante Hall, unofficially 153 yards on the ground. He had 256 coming in, so he's had a big day.
And once again, 3rd and 2 or less. Kansas wanted to win these battles 70% of the time. Let's see if they can get it done in this snap.
Hall, 1st down and more. On his feet toward the end zone, down at the 1.
Michael Allen tackles him.
What an effort by Dante Hall, product of Nimitz High School in Houston, Texas.
Well, Texas A&M running to that left side, running behind Tucker, and there's a pretty good surge up and down the left side of that offensive line. Come off the football well, and knock it backwards. That's a big crease for Hall on short yardage.
Busted play. Colner sacks McCown, but that was a broken play. And keep in mind, the last time Texas A&M had 1st and goal inside the 1, they didn't score. They had to settle for a field goal.
Right, you know, this snap, it's nothing really Kansas did. Texas A&M hurt themselves. Absolute confusion right from the very point of the snap. Hall had no idea when the quarterback reverse pivoted out of there with nothing going on. McCown had the mistake, I think.
Toss to Hall, cutback, touchdown.
Or the Texas A&M touchdown.
Nice lead block once again by the big old fullback, Toombs. He's laying some tombstone blocks out there.
That may be his nickname before long. 3rd touchdown of the day for Dante Hall, and Texas A&M back on top.
Yeah, Toombs is definitely stoning people, so we might as well call him Tombstone. And he's responsible for a lot of Hall's yards. He's the 6th lineman.
Russell Bynum makes it 24-21 Aggies. An impressive drive by Texas A&M. 3:24 to play.
When you think about your bank, you probably don't think relationship. I mean, you can't exactly cuddle up with your checkbook at night. But you can get a little special treatment with this. Advantage checking from Nations Bank. It actually rewards you with better rates on loans and CDs, free checks. It doesn't nickel and dime you with fees. Okay, it's not exactly like marriage. But then again, what is?
Hey, girls. Man, I am thirsty. You some power, baby. Oh, pretty, please. Come on now. You're in there. Come on, son. Hey, see.
No self-control.
Hey, mama now, Dr. Pepper. I don't want nothing else. Dr. Pepper's is the tea. Let's go, Dr. Pepper.
Football is brought to you by Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper, this is the taste. And by the all-new BMW 3 Series. Everything your car does well, it does brilliantly. Campanile Bell Tower on the campus of the University of Kansas. Dante Hall's third score of the day has staked the Aggies to a 3-point lead. 3:24 to play. And the Jayhawks have all 3 of their timeouts. Shane Leckler will kick it deep. And he hammers this one. I mean, he took out the driver and got all of it. So Kansas backed up at their own 20.
Watch the lead block by the fullback, Toombs. Pretty good effort by the offensive line, but Toombs is the guy that's going to lead him to the house. Turns it up inside. Cacon, pancake. Easy for Hall. They wanted to get him 20 touches. He's got about 35, doesn't he?
He's got a bunch. He's well over 30, and he's 1 yard shy of his career best rushing effort. That came against Sam Houston State when he had 169. Out of the shotgun, Kansas needs a field goal to tie. Wagner throwing complete. This is Childs to the 37-yard line. Let's revisit the keys to victory for Kansas. Check the report card.
Well, Kansas didn't want to give up any big plays. Runs over 15 yards they did. That's not too bad, though. One play over 20 yards. Win on third down. Not bad. Winning in that area, too. That win, you're not going to block him all the time. I give them a solid B, maybe B+ on their keys.
Plenty of time for the Jayhawks. They go on the ground to Bowles. And he does well to pick up positive yards. In fact, he got 4 when it looked like he was going to lose a couple. As for the Aggies and their report card.
Right, they wanted to execute today. They've had too many drops and a few costly penalties there. They definitely won the field position battle. Utilization of team speed, though, it's been about an even mix there. I'd give them a C+, B- on their keys.
Inside 2.5 to go. Another delay and another short gain for Bowles. Now for Kansas, they're in a 3rd down and 5 situation.
The reason I give A&M a C+, B-, they've dominated the field position, but they haven't executed. I mean, that's the key to anything. That's the biggest key of the game is execution. They haven't taken advantage of opportunities.
They go without a huddle here.
Almost caught A&M with too many on the field.
They need 5 on 3rd down. Wagner's going to run for it, and he gets there. What a gutty play by Wagner.
Wagner had 1 read on this particular set, right there. That was his primary receiver. That's Childs. When he was covered, Wagner put it down, tucked it, and ran. Good decision, quick decision, decisive move, and showed some authority when he ran it up in there.
Chandler. Good coverage downfield. Brandon Jennings picked him up. You know, on that last 3rd down, Kansas converted. They're now 6 for 13, Dave, for the game. They were 0 for 6 in the first half.
It's pretty strong. They're 6 of 7 here in the second half. And Mrs. Riley taught me how to cipher in 3rd grade.
Well, we learned last week that she did a pretty good job.
There we go.
And you've continued with your A this week. 2nd and 10, 1:24 to go. Ball at the 48 of Texas A&M. The Aggies by 3. Wegner. Good job by Rocky Bernard applying the pressure. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Boy, Rocky Bernard, this is a defensive lineman showing that speed, chasing Wegner and closing on him.
The executive producers are Arthur Smith and Bill Borson of this broadcast. A coordinating producer for College Football Saturday is Roy Hamilton. And today's game has been produced by Robert Steinfeld, directed by Ken Miller. Our Vice President of Field Operations, Andrea Jenkins. Big play here, 3rd and 10. Wegner hit from behind and dropped.
Bradley came from the blind side and made the big play. The initial protection was pretty good, and as it started to break down, Bradley separated and closed on Wegner. Nothing fancy up front, little twisting, and the Red Sea parted for a second for Wegner. He was going to tuck it and run, but Bradley closed, came off the block and closed it up. Pretty good speed. A&M does have some foot speed on this defensive unit at all levels. We saw defensive linemen closing on Wegner on the last rush in Bernard.
On 4th down with 1:07 to play. They need 10 yards. Next Saturday, we'll be at the State Fair of Texas for one of the great rivalries in college football. The Longhorns and the Sooners from the Cotton Bowl. 11:30 Central Time is the kick. Our Dr. Pepper game of the week. Texas and Oklahoma. Terry Allen now in his 2nd year. Look at his home record. He's 6-2. Last year he won 5 of 6. The only blemish, a loss to Nebraska.
He's trying to establish the fact that you defend your home turf. And Kansas is going to be a factor. When people come here to Lawrence, they have to know that they're in for a snootful. And he's doing a pretty good job of getting that message across. Big win on the road last week to go down to UAB and get that monkey off their back. And they've responded well in this encounter. I mean, A&M, a top 20 team, and Kansas has played them off their feet.
You know, last year, honestly, they had to hope to get a defensive score every week.
Or kicking game.
Or kicking game to have a chance to win. This year, they have an offense that's much better. But they need 10 here. 4th down. It does not matter. Brooks had it, lost it, but the Aggies will get the football and just have to run out the final minute 3. And they'll escape with a 3-point win in Lawrence, Kansas.
Well, Texas A&M rushed 4 and dropped 7. They played zone coverage down the football field and took every little lane away from Wegner. The quarters were too tight a hole to throw into, and it was almost picked off. Read very well. Breaking on the football, reading Wegner's eyes was Brooks. He almost had golden goalpost going the other way.
Toss. And 2 hands on the football for Dante Hall. And we'll get a timeout from Kansas. Texas A&M leading 24-21. We're back in a moment.
Most companies that make canopies for our nation's jet fighters look to this oil company for a critical component to make them bulletproof. When it really counts, they seem to be the one to count on. With that in mind, what kind of gasoline do you think they'd make for your car? You'd be right. Citgo, when it counts.
Here's the deal, 56 seconds left. Texas A&M with the football on a 3-point lead. 2nd down and 9. Kansas with one timeout left. Dante Hall again with the football and falls to the ground at the 45. He got 5 on the play.
Tackled by Chad Holder.
Time to check our BMW play of the day. And the game was only a few seconds old when that win made our BMW play of the day.
Boy, just a great read looking at the quarterback's eyes. Wagner all the way. Wagner ended up holding the football a little too long and threw into what turned out to be triple coverage as Wynn makes the interception and puts his offense 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. They score a touchdown with a very short field, and that set the tone.
He personally set them up for 10 points in this game. The touchdown after the interception. Then he recovered a muffed punt later on in the game, which set up an A&M field goal. Citgo game stats.
Look at those. Look at the field position once again. A&M almost midfield still at their 48-yard line. Kansas starting on their own 17-yard line. And to have to go on those multiple play long drives against the A&M defense ultimately cost them the football games. Otherwise, though, A&M did it by running the football. Kansas did it by throwing the football. It was pretty even Steven, except for the field position. Time of possession and number of snaps evened up a little bit more in the second half. In the first half, A&M had a dramatic advantage in those two areas.
By the way, let me correct something I said earlier on Dante Hall. As you look at that win, his career high is 184 on the ground, set his freshman year against the Red Raiders at Texas Tech, and he's got 175 today.
Oh, can't do that. Kansas jammed their signals, and A&M lurched forward at the left side. The left guard and left tackle moved. It's going to be 3rd and 8 now. I wonder if...
The snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards, repeat 3rd down.
I wonder if Hall's close to a record for carries, though. He's way up there in terms of number of lugs. I mean, he's carried the ball 34 times today. That's a significant number. I bet that might be closing in on a record if it's not one.
And if you followed Texas A&M the last couple of years, usually tailback responsibilities are shared. Hall on a cutback does not get the 1st down.
The huge penalty right there. Instead of 3rd and 3, Hall may have been able to rush for a 1st down on that carry, but as a result of the penalty, they can't generate the 1st down. Now it's 4th down.
And they're going to have to punt it.
They're going to have to punt the football. Kansas' last hope would be a block, Drew.
Well, if they don't punt it, they can snap it and try to run it out. That's what their plan is. There's 15 seconds left, and they can't stop the clock. But they should get 1 snap unless Texas A&M gets first.
And they got A&M in the neutral zone. Kansas in the neutral zone. Did A&M move?
Delay a game, offense, 5 yards, repeat 4th down.
Took too much time to do it anyway. Now with 5 seconds to play in the football game, they are going to have to punt the football. And Kansas's last ray of hope would be a block punt, actually touchdown, because if the punt is blocked, they're going to have to return it. They don't have any more timeouts, and there's not any time to get on the field and run another play after the block punt.
Their only shot is a block and a return. 11 men on the line of scrimmage. Leckler, one of the nation's best. He just wanted to get it out of there in a hurry, and he does so, and that will be the ball game. And it'll help the old average also. Yes. What a ball game. The Aggies prevail 24-21 over the Kansas Jayhawks, who came from 2 touchdowns down to actually take the lead well into the 4th quarter. An improved Kansas team and an Aggie team that marches along, Dave, to 4-1.
The Aggies had tremendous field position advantage all day long. You have to credit the Jayhawk defense with bowing their backs and bullying their necks and not letting Texas A&M abuse them in terms of touchdowns. And ultimately, due to the defensive effort, Kansas was able to take the lead, but A&M showing the resiliency to come back and score when they had to win the football game. Both teams doing a great job today.
Our Dr. Pepper player of the game, Dante Hall, 35 totes, 178 yards, and all 3 Aggie touchdowns. Our Dr. Pepper player of the game, the junior from Houston, Dante Hall. And now let's go downstairs. Jim Knox is with one of the defensive players of the game. He always is. Dat Win.
Dat Win, wherever it is, wherever the ball is, you are there. Interception today, the big recovery on the punt in which it knocked off a Kansas player. You recover. What is it? Are you a magnet drawn to the ball?
No, I was just lucky. I was lucky, and I was fortunate to be in the right position at the right time, and whatever happened, whatever I can do to help the team.
What a wild game it was, Dad. You guys basically controlled the game because due to good field position the entire way, it seemed like Kansas was playing on their end of the field. Then it got close towards the end of the game. They started to move the ball. And at the end, when it counted, you guys came up with the big plays on defense.
Well, we got to give them all the credit. They played a heck of a game. They went down to the wire. Everybody saw that. And we just came out. We had to play, and we made a lot of mistakes and gave up a lot of big plays, and that hurt us. And hopefully we'll go back and try to evaluate the game and try to minimize that. And hopefully we'll get ready for next week.
Yeah, next week. Talk about next week. It doesn't get any bigger than this when the Nebraska Cornhuskers, right now the second-ranked team in the nation, heads to Kyle Field.
Oh, it's going to be a great game. I think we're going to be ready for them. And we still got a lot of things we got to do and a lot of things we got to work on. It'll be a good game, and hopefully we'll see you guys next weekend.
All right, thanks a lot. Dat Win, great game. Congratulations. All right, Drew, right now Aggies come away with a big win, but next week it could get even bigger because they take on Nebraska at home.
All right, Jim, thanks very much. Win will have to be ready for that one. Very quickly, Dave, this conference is outstanding. You have 5 teams in the top 25, and then teams like Kansas, you better be ready to play them.
Well, that's the thing. There's no break in the Big 12 schedule. Kansas is proving that. I think every team in the Big 12 has elevated their level of play. Everybody's trying to catch the top 2. Nebraska and Kansas State are setting the standard, but everybody else is just a notch or 2 below. It's not the Big 6 and the Little 6 anymore. It's getting to be the Big 12.
Absolutely. We've seen Iowa State this year. They're vastly improved. Kansas, a much better team. That was a terrific ball game. Texas A&M wins it 24-21 over the University of Kansas in Lawrence. Please join us next Saturday morning at 11:30 from the Cotton Bowl in Dallas for the 93rd meeting between Texas and Oklahoma. Now, for Jim Knox and my partner Dave Lapham, I'm Drew Goodman saying so long from Lawrence. The Aggies over the Jayhawks by 3.
First down. Dante ends the first quarter with 71 yards on 9 carries, gets 16 yards on a burst deep into KU territory. A 4th and 8 goes incomplete. Aggies forced to play defense again. Kazmersky and Franson for the Aggie wrecking crew come up with a big stop on Winbush. Next play, Michael Jamison, always around the ball, finds it along with the quarterback, Zach Wagner. Sack, loss of 7 for KU. Warwick Coleman gets in on the act when he bowls over Bowles' rush attempt. Loss of 2 on the play. With that, the Aggies hit the locker room, holding to a 14-7 lead. Let's go to third quarter action. Dante Hall picks up where he left off, rips off 9 up to the Aggie 36. 2nd and 1. Dante takes it to the end zone, but a holding penalty cost the Aggies, forcing it to become only a 15-yard gain. No points. Drive continues. McCowan looks and finds Chris Cole for 16 yards. Cole, a 5-reception, 51-yard day. Tight end Derek Spiller got into the act when McCowan connected with him for a 20-yard gain down to the KU 34. Third down. Same story, different verse. Cole for 10. Stall drive forces a punt. Leckler puts it in the corner where it bounces off a KU player. Loose ball. The man always around the ball, Dat Win, makes his second big play of the day, giving the Aggies prime real estate for a scoring opportunity. Dante gets to the 1 on a quick run. Stopped by a Kansas goal line stand, Texas A&M capitalizes with a Russell Bynum field goal from 21 yards out, giving the Aggies a 10-point margin. Back to defense. Kansas quarterback Wagner stopped for a loss by 1. Who else? Dat Win, Defensive Player of the Week. Despite Dat and the wrecking crew's efforts, Kansas would not go quietly. Wagner completes the touchdown pass to Gassaway to make the score. Aggies 17, Kansas 14 as the game entered the final period. Fourth quarter, series later, Aggies Jay Brooks stops Winbush in his tracks for a loss. KU with a big drive, however, gets into the end zone to take their first lead of the game. The Aggies would have to come up with a drive of their own if they were going to win the game. Under 9 minutes left. McCowan and the Aggie offense go to work. First play. McCowan finds Leroy Hodge, complete for 17 yards down to the 42-yard line. Randy, he's a dandy, scrambles, runs, 11 more. Aaron Oliver, he's the next target on McCowan's hit list. Mark it down. 9 more and another first down. Dante, career-high carries with 36. Second best day ever as an Aggie with 178 yards. Rips off 2 big runs, 12 yards down to the 15. Dante again, 13 yards on a 3rd and 2. Goes to the 1. 2nd and goal. Dante takes it into the zone. Touchdown. A clutch 11-play, 75-yard drive when they needed it. Aggies retake the lead 24-21 with just over 3 minutes left in the game. Defense has to do it just one more time, and they rise to the occasion. 3rd and 10. Wagner stopped for a 0 gain by Royal Bradley. 4th down. Jason Glenn, the wrecking crew, closed the books on Kansas when the ball hits the turf. Aggies ball, and they're able to run out the clock. 24-21. It's a wild, exciting college football game. Aggies prove victorious and move their record to 4-1 for the season. 1-0 in the Big 12. Head coach R.C. Slocum is back in a moment on the Aggie Sports Connection to give us his insight on this win and a look ahead. Let's get the comments from the coach, taking on a KU team that was 6-2 over their last 8 home Big 12 conference games. How about that victory over Kansas?
I was really impressed and pleased at our team there at the end of the 4th quarter when the game was actually in jeopardy. Our team did what it had to do to win the ball game, and you really can't say too much about that. The character that it takes when you're playing on the road, things are going badly, you're having some problems, you're behind, but to go out there and take the ball the length of the field, put the points on the board to give you enough to win with, and then have the defense go out there and stop them, really I think says a lot about the character of the team. We jumped out to an early lead in the ball game. You can look back and say maybe the game shouldn't have been that close, but the reality is that every week teams play games like this, and it's very easy to lose a game on the road playing a conference game. They get the momentum going. They had a few things go their way in the ball game, and I was pleased to come out with a win. When you finish a game like this, it's always interesting that, and I think it's a real credit to us. I'm glad we're in a position that we win enough games here that we can get to the point we can even critique all the wins and talk about ugly wins and pretty wins and so-so wins. And I'm glad that we have won enough games that we have reached that point where we're not just looking to try to win a game. There are those who would critique every win to see if it was a pretty win. From a coach's perspective and from the team's perspective, anytime we can win the game, we're excited about that and happy to do that. And we'll come back and go to work and try to see if we can win the next one.
Couple of nice efforts in the ball game from quarterback Randy McCowan, getting his first start of the season, and running back Dante Hall.
Randy did some nice things in the ball game, had some good plays, had a couple balls dropped that would have enhanced his passing percentages. But I thought particularly in the clutch drive down in the 4th quarter, made some couple of key scrambles in there, a couple of key throws that really thought he showed some leadership in taking us for the winning touchdown. I thought Dante had a great day Saturday. He ran hard. He made some very smart runs in the ball game. Carried the ball a bunch of times. He carried 37 times, which is more than he's accustomed to carry. But I thought he had a lot to do with our offensive performance, and particularly made some great runs on that last scoring drive.
The Aggies, their backs to the wall, need a drive to put points on the board. They trail 21-17, a 75-yard drive, and the coach's thoughts on the offensive performance.
We told the team on the sideline, you can't count on getting a lot more opportunities at this thing. We had about 8 minutes to go in the game. We said, we've got the ball right now. We need to take this one and take it down the field and put it in the end zone. They did that. I think the drive took about 5 minutes off the clock, went 78 yards, put the points on the board, and then our defense followed that, went out and held Kansas and took the ball away from them.
Wrecking Crew, another great job, performed well against Kansas on the road. Dat Win, a tremendous day, had an interception that set up a touchdown, had a fumble recovery, and 8 tackles in the game.
Dat Win was Dat Win again in this ball game. Started off right up front, intercepting the pass, which set up a touchdown. Later on, recovered a fumble, which set up a field goal. And in between, just all over the field making plays. Had another tremendous ball game.
An aspect of the Texas A&M game that's proving a real positive into this 98 season is the turnover margin. The Aggies now a +10 for the season.
That's one of the most telling and most critical stats in football is the turnover margin, how you match up with your opponent each week and the turnover ratio. And we have worked 3 years ago, we were not so good in that area. Last year we worked very hard and I thought showed dramatic improvement. I think might have finished 3rd in the nation last year in the turnover. And this year, again, have gotten off to a good start in that category.
Up by a score of 24-21, Kansas had another opportunity at the football. Defense needed a big stand.
Kansas had the ball. They had a little momentum going there in the fourth quarter. And those situations are so critical. One play, you're playing out there with one play, and there's not enough time left. It's probably over. And I thought our defense did an excellent job of containing them, putting pressure on the quarterback, and really rising up in that situation and stopping it.
This coming Saturday at Kyle Field, a game that will kick at 2:30 will match the Aggies against Nebraska. It's a rematch of last year's Big 12 championship game, except this time it's going to be at Kyle Field.
Nebraska is a complete team in every regard. They've got a great offense, great defense, great special teams. So you really have to match up in each of those areas. You have to keep their offense from just keeping the football